What's good? What's good? Salute to the family. How y'all feeling? How you feeling? We back. We here. We're a little early, but we gonna build on this boxing like we always do and give it its just due, man. We got to talk about the news that's out in regards to Vasyl Lomachenko, man. I see people already excited. I guess are excited to speculate who he getting in the ring with. And we're gonna talk about it, man. We just don't know. But I did hear something that sounded a bit promising in terms of, I hear he on his Errol Spence type deal, right? I hear he don't want no tune-ups. And if that's the case, then I think it leads to good fights. So I hope that is the case. He been out for a while. The timing was very either convenient, strategic, or just a coincidence, whichever one you tend to believe in. But it's funny that he's coming out right as his contract with Top Rank has expired, making him a promotional free agent. So that could have been planned, strategic. You get what I'm saying? Could be a coincidence, but I don't know, man. Boxers are slick, and one joke that I always used to say about Loma when he was still active is he was a top ranked lifer, meaning like I never thought you would see Lomachenko fight for another promotional company outside of top rank, but maybe this is his way of doing that, right? Maybe he heard about Zuffa. I don't know. Maybe the Ukraine was he heard some whispers about Zuffa. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he said, I gotta see what that Zuffa money be about. I don't know. Maybe he heard something about Turkey Al Sheik dropping bags and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he heard all those, hurt back jokes that y'all was making and all that those duck jokes y'all was making about Tank. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he coming back for y'all guy because that's what they saying. That's what they want to see, right? You know what I'm saying? They saying Tank Davis is lowering, Vasyl Lomachenko out of out of retirement and back into the ring. But we just gonna see, man. Look, I'm here for all this, man. I like the no tune-up energy. That's Errol Spence vibes, right? Guy that don't want to go waste our time with nobody that he's expected to beat. Cool. I hope that's what he's able to do. But look, I'm here for any of these fights. I mean, he got some unfinished business with Tank. He do. But even before that, just being real, he had some unfinished business with Core too. So I ain't too picky. I ain't too choosy. I would like to see either fight because I think they'll both be good. But I do want to see where this ends up. And again, I think it was very strategic that he happened to come out and peek his head out the bushes when that contract expired, man. Loma trying to get in on that bag. I'm trying to tell you, that's what's going on. Loma, Loma trying to get to that bag. And he ain't about to play no games, man. And I hope that he get right to the smoke. Um, I heard, some mention of Moritaya, because he got the IBF belt. That's the belt that Loma held last. But he about to make a hometown defense in August. And I seriously doubt it would be Lomachenko, right? I doubt that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him getting first dibs on Lomachenko for that reason. You know what I mean? He already got a fight lined up, hometown fight in August, like I said. So title defense. And then more than likely after that, he's going up to 140 pounds, just like Robert Garcia said. Pretty sure this would be his last fight at 35. So you get what I'm saying? Just simple process of elimination. You could kind of take him out the picture, I would think. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely don't see Lomachenko being at no 140. You know what I'm saying? It's already 135 is a lot. But the interesting thing is, I wonder what weight class is it that he coming back? Is you coming back at 35 or is you going, dip your toe back into 130, the 130 pool? But we just don't know. But who knows, man? Maybe he feels like the money is at 35, but shit, Loma don't, just chase the money, right? So I don't know. I like this. I like this news. I like the fact that he peeking his head back out. Right, Loma coming out to play. You know what I'm saying? Loma said, "I ain't done yet." You know what I'm saying? I just had to rest my back. You know what I'm saying? He said he got tired of carrying boxing. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he was no Moschenko for a while, bro. Loma was going out there putting hands on dudes, making guys quit on the stool. You know what I'm saying? Say no mas. He was doing it. He was beating dudes' ass. Maybe he coming back for some of that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he coming back for the tanking maniacs that been talking crazy on his name. You know what I'm saying? Because they you know what they say. They say he's scared, man. They say the boy's scared, man. He ain't want no smokage with Tank Davis, so he dipped up out of there. Dante, what's good, bro? How you feeling? Marcus, what's good, family? Yeah, man, this is good news. This is good news, man. This is cool news. But look, this is interesting though, because not only is he a guy that has battled with injuries, specifically, should I say, his back. You know, that's the last thing we heard, you know, about him having some type of surgery on his back. And that was going to determine if he came back. And then we seen what ended up ultimately happening is he ended up retiring. And now, like he peeking his head back out to play. You know what I'm saying? Loma said, I ain't done yet. He might have got the itch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Papachenko, came to him and said, hey, look, son, hey, look, man, you know? Maybe he came back. Maybe he said, yo, look, Tank Davis ain't focused, man. You get me? Maybe where he said they ain't focused, man. You could come back right now. You know what I'm saying? 135 looking different. You know what I'm saying? Pieces on the chessboard looking different. Maybe it's a room and opportunity for Loma to get back in there where he fit in at. But I do like I said, the notion that he want to get back to the smoke. At least that's what they're reporting, because he do still. I mean, he still would be a name. He come right back. He'd be a name. He come right back. He'd be expected to beat a lot of people. You know what I mean? And the guys that people want to see him in there with the most would be guys like Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of course I see the most, because I believe, you know, obviously they was in some type of negotiation. So, and that was the last fight before you know, before he ultimately decided to call it quits. That was even after he beat Kambosos. So maybe that's why people are pressed to see it. And look, I'm cool. I'm cool either way, but interesting dynamic, man. Like it almost slipped my mind. I was mentioning the injury, the back, and his age, man. Loma ain't no spring chicken. With Loma like gonna be like 38. Loma gonna be about 38, y'all. Like 38 years old. That's a little wild, bro. Sheesh. You getting in there playing with them young folk. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna tear you a new one. But look, I'm here for it. Howard was good, homie. I'm here for it. Tank Davis fight to be interesting. Again, I think it makes some sense. And even like fresh off their situations, even with Tank being inactive, because Loma been inactive coming off an injury, it wouldn't even be a bad fight, like right now. And I'm just calling it what it is. I know that's a fight people want to see. I'm not against it. You know, if I had my picks, I'd like to see Court tune him up, of course, right? I'd love to see him get that opportunity at Loma, but I just don't think that the reason why I ain't tripping on who get the fight first, if it was either one of them, is because it's like at this point, Loma's older. You know what I mean? Some time has passed. It wouldn't have the same. It wouldn't hit the same as if he fought him when he was offered the fight initially, right? And that was even before the Tank situation. That was even before the Kambosos win for Loma, right? Got that opportunity at a vacant title and some good money to fight Shakur. You know what I'm saying? I heard it was a career high payday and he still wasn't beat. So it is what it is, man. But the thing about Loma is, you know, I know he got a bit of a bad rap because again, he didn't elect to fight Shakur. He went on to fight Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? For his title. People claim the reason he didn't want to fight Shakur because the title was vacant and he wanted to take a title off somebody. I think that's convenient to say, but I still don't look at Loma as a guy that's scary or a duck or something like that. I just think at the tail end of his career, when it came down to fighting guys like the Shakurs, the Camboses, or the Tanks, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? If you already was talking about retiring after your loss, your razor thin loss that most people thought you won with Devin, right? You was talking about retiring then, and you was ready to hang him up. Pops put that battery in your back and got you off the couch. So again, if you're taking a pick as to who you're gonna fight out of those three, you will see why Cambosis will be fitting, right? You can go out on a high note with a win, go out there, be a world champion, retire as a world champion, right? Which is something he was able to do. And just me being a realist, man, I could see that being a business move more so than, man, he ducking or he's scared. Like, again, he had the opportunities was there, but a guy that fought, about 400 amateur fights, so looked at as one of the best amateurs, if not the best amateur in the world. The fastest 3 division champion in boxing, and a guy that was competing, obviously, I believe, out of his weight class at 35. I don't believe he's a true lightweight. So that shows you a lot. That tells you a lot about Loma. So I never looked at him as a duck. I get it. It's frustrating when you see a guy get an opportunity to fight somebody like Shakur. He like, nah, and it's for a title and good money. Like, nah. Then go on to fight Cambosis and retire without, negotiation with Tank. Then end up retiring. Like, I get it. Looked like he just was picking and choosing. But again, I think when you ready to hang him up, and that's what it looked like it was for Loma. It looked like he was ready to hang him up. Like, I heard the talks well before these situations presented themselves. Right after the Devin fight is when I started hearing the retirement rumors and all of that stuff. So I get it. I just think he made a good business decision to go out there, beat the George Cambosis up, and get up out the game. And now I think coming back and essentially not wanting any tune-ups, I think it speaks volumes about the kind of fighter that Lomachenko is. Because again, if you're coming right back, most people think you're coming right back at 35. We know what fighters is there. Shakur still operating around 135 and 140, as he said. Got Tank Davis supposed to be making a comeback, right? Getting back in the mix. So you got the fans going crazy about the possibility of that being a fight. And like I said, man, with the history, I mean, people wanted to see this shit 5-6 years ago. If it could still happen, why not? I mean, things have changed. Tank has had a draw since then. He hasn't lost, right? Loma has went on to win a title again, didn't retire, coming back out. It just wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. They both been out for some time. Again, people been clamoring for this fight for years, right? It felt like we was gonna get it when we heard about the negotiations. Because for me, on my end, I was almost for sure. I'm like, damn, we really about to get a Loma and Tank fight. And then, obviously Tank. I mean, Loma did what he did and retired. So it was what it was. But I think coming back again, it gives the opportunity, it leaves the opportunity for these fights to still be made. You get what I'm saying? So I want to see where he go from here, man. Like what the talks are, man. Huh? Is he trying to get that Zuffa back? Huh? Is he trying to fight on some ring cards, some Netflix cards? What Loma doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie, he never seemed like a guy that was, his career was dictated by money. He really took the opportunities. Like he came into the game wanting smoke and asking for smoke. You know what I'm saying? Title shot early as hell in the game. What, 3 fights in, title shot? You get me? So Loma and won and beat my guy Gary. So Loma's a hell of a fighter, man. I think healthy Loma, he's a fun guy to watch. He'll be an interesting fight for anybody. Make no mistake, he ain't just no easy win, but it would be good to see if the time off helped a guy like Lomachenko. Did it help him or did it hurt him? Right? Did him being off for some time, give him a break, right? His body a rest and allow him to get back to form. That's what I want to see. Plug Cat was good with it. Howard said Shakur be more tired. Shakur Roach set the Loma fight up perfectly, especially if Loma dominates his tune-up. Loma said he don't want no tune-ups. Lost to Mont Roach and then rematch him. Business move. Man, you can see Mills Rob. What it do, my guy? Shout out to you. How you feeling, bro? Good to see you in the building. That's me. What's good with it, man? 35 and 40 for everyone. see what happens. We're gonna see. Scott, my the guy, was good with it. I was confirmed, is this fight happening? Because I'm kind of out the loop for a minute. Shout out to Scott, man. It's all good, man. All good. Teach was good with it. Dre is in the building. My dog was good with it. He seen Tank knock out Ghost and was on the shit. Yeah, I think Loma, man. Loma, again, you talking about a dude that had 400 amateur fights, pretty much, right? And 2 gold medals to show for it. And then came into the game kicking some ass too. So he turned pro late, 26 years old. That's late in the game, right? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty late. And he still ended up having a really, really successful run. You know what I mean? One of the more respected fighters out there. So I think when people heard about the retirement, they looking at the number of fights professionally and they like, where he at? Why he retired? Where he going? But I think when you've been fighting up for that long, man, you put that much mileage on your body. Sometimes a break is was needed. And then again, it could be coincidence, circumstance, situational, or convenience, or strategic, right? Right. Like I said, that he came back right when his contract expired. You know, Top Rank was going through some changes and they found a home now. So, like, is he coming back? Is he gonna go back to working with Bob, right? Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? What he gonna do? Is he trying to get the ring card, the Saudi bread, or is he rocking with Zuffa? You know what I'm saying? Zuffa. Next week is gonna be a Zuffa signing. Zuffa signs Lomachenko. I'm telling you, you go hear it. Loma talking. What he say? Yeah, man, he back out. They ain't saying much. What they reported is he's back. He coming back. You know what I mean? And he's looking to make the biggest fights, not tune-ups. That's what they saying. They saying Loma ain't looking for tune-ups. But you know, I always take the most earliest reports with a grain of salt. Maybe that might be his situation. Maybe that might be his mentality. But I think we just have to wait and see how it play out, right? Availability, scheduling, what makes sense, where he fit in at, what weight is he coming back to? Is he coming right back to 35? Because some say he could still be fighting at 130, and why not do it? He's small enough to do it. So I'm here for all of it. You hear me? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm Loma. If I take because his activity and coming off the layoff, he definitely not going to be active, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be tricky to teach. He said Loma and Tank have ring rust. That's why I said, why not throw him in there? Think twice about an active Shakur. That's what I'm saying. There might be some hesitation there. You know what I mean? Teach EMP core, you know, sell out MSG core, sell out core, what they be calling them. You know what I'm saying? Sold out core, you know what I'm saying? Might be a little risky coming off that surgery and some inactivity. But we got some smoke with Tank Davis. Tank Davis been inactive, and they teach. He got a draw. He didn't lose. But maybe Loma over there scratching his chin like, hey, man, Pops, we see something. Maybe Papachenko like, son, do we see something? You know? Do we dive in head first and try to, you know what I'm saying? Papachenko like, hey, man, son, he had a draw. We might see some things. Tank gonna punch his ass out the ring. But nah, maybe. Let's have some fun with it. I don't know where he going, but like I said, that was the emphasis that they put on it. He didn't want tune-ups. Cool. Fight the guys. We know who those guys are. Loma is a phenomenal fighter. He a good matchup for anybody, especially if you ain't dwarfing him in size. You know, anybody his size, think about it. And him and Tank is relatively around the same size, same height and reach, very, very similar dimensions, inactivity. They got history. They did have some prior negotiations going on, right? I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just not. Dre, what it do? I mean, tuna, so it's cool to be Loma. Ain't no, you get me? So they ain't gonna do him. They ain't gonna put him in there. Yeah, hit them 400 Amis. It did it. T Hill, the mayor's in the building. What's good, man? Beating up kid in the Amis. yeah. 20 saves, kicking ass, bro. I'm telling you. BVO, what it do, man? What's good with it? We back. Jordan, my dog, man. You already know, man. Don't work too hard on him. Jordan Teach, he over there, Papachenko over there scratching his chin like, man, Tank ain't focused, man. We might got him. We might could get him. You know how that's how I'm telling you. That's how boxing be. Man, they be sitting back there watching like, man, he might not be full. You think we can get him? I'm telling you, Papachenko or Loma over there in the cut looking at the Lamont Roach and Tank fight. Yeah. Rubbing their hands with the Birdman rub. Like, yeah, we might could do something with him. You know what I mean? And we all know looks is deceiving, and I'm obviously having fun with it, y'all. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, I'm not against it. Fight the top guys. Him coming right back, even out of retirement, even off a hiatus, a layoff, whatever you want to call it, a back surgery, he still will be a top guy, respectfully, because of the skill set, the accomplishments, and what he proved. Like, we know Loma was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? He just was. He could fight his ass off. You know what I mean? Crush, the legend, my dog. What's good with it, bro? How you feeling, man? He said, Loma be tank. Need Shakur get that Roach and Loma fight. I'm telling you, look, 12 was good with it. Luck, duck. Loma ducked up. Got a tank. But you know what's crazy? Look, you know, I ain't big on the duck, but look, the crazy part is before there was Tank, there was who? Shakur. And remember, he said no to Core and fought Cambosis. And then he negotiated with Tank and ended up retiring. At least he, you know, when saying no to somebody and then fighting a lesser competition in the same weight class is diabolical. That's the epitome of a duck by them standards. But, you know, I don't like to push that. I really say this, like I was saying earlier, and let's talk about it. Let's build on it, man. Everybody hit the like button. Support the grind, man. We had back-to-back over 6-hour live streams, y'all. We only on Wednesday, man. You know what I mean? Zoom verse. Peace, Brody. How you feeling? Yeah, man, Sonny, what's good with it? So let's talk about it, man. Like I said, look, I know it's easy to look at what Loma did, and you like, man, I ain't rocking with that, man. Why you ain't just go out there and fight Tank? You know, even for people at the time of Shakur, man, why you ain't just hop in there and fight Core? You had an opportunity, a great payday. You know, yeah, the title was vacant, but that shouldn't. A title's a title, bro. Y'all was both fighting for it, right? But I'm thinking, I try to think logically and I try to give fighters grace. And the reason why is because if you have proven something, right? And let me tell you how I think. I get it. Other people gonna be like, man, man, you being too nice. Now I ain't being too nice. I'm just telling y'all, they're gonna be like, man, he ducked Corey, then he turned around, he fought Campos, then he ducked Tank, or however, or he ducked Tank, whatever, right? But for me, this is how I see it. We're talking about a guy that turned pro late. Like I said, 26 years old is late. Look at the rest of these guys when they turn pro. 21 dudes be 19. Some of these dudes be teenagers, right? 26 is a little late in the game, right? So he turns pro then, but that's after about 400 AMI fights. Get what I'm saying? 2 gold medals. He stuck around in that amateur system for a long time, but he had to hit the ground running as a professional when he got here, right? I heard one of his I guess like perks to signing with Top Rank was that they get him a title fight within his first couple of fights, and I think that hence why he ended up getting, even after losing to Salido in the second fight, getting a Gary Russell fight, even after being 1-1. Think about it. This man fought Gary Russell at 1-1 and beat him. It's a close fight, closer than what people make it seem, but he beat him. You know what I'm saying? So this dude hit the ground running. Then you know his resume. Fastest 3 division champ, as I stated earlier. The dude had a whole nickname, Lomachenko. He was making people quit back to back to back. He had a hell of a run, and he was a smaller lightweight. He arguably was competing outside of his weight class, and he still was doing well. You see what the losses was. The Salido loss, we get it. You came in there gunning, and Salido was dirty. He roughhoused you, and he got an ugly win, right? But nonetheless, he got it off. But the other losses only came to guys like the Teofimos of the world when Tszyu was still undefeated, right? Obviously Devin Haney's of the world. Get me? So all due respect to Loma, man, he never lost to, you get the Salido thing, but his losses really came to people that was proven that was on top of their game. You know what I mean? You wasn't just going to be any old body and beat Loma, right? Beating Loma is not something that's just everybody going to run in there and do. So he showed the ability to compete through multiple weight classes. And like I said, and seeing him come back, even at the age of 38, will be very interesting. But I think he got to move wisely. You know, obviously it's boxing. It's a young man's game. He'll be about 38 coming off of back surgery and inactivity. You know what I mean? Even though the last time we seen him, he looked phenomenal. Get what I'm saying? He ain't lose a round. He's piecing Kambosos' ass up. You get me? He beat Kambosos up something nice. You know what I'm saying? So I like it, man. But there's fights out there, man. But I don't see a, you know what I mean, Loma, Andy Cruz. They're not gonna do nothing like that right now. Andy Cruz coming off a loss with Raymond Moritai, I wouldn't see why that would make sense to throw him in there with Loma, right? Coming back. Now, if this was an active Loma, then maybe it's something different. But and even then, that's tricky to do. But Andy Cruz is shit. He might need to take his talents to 130, but he probably not. But it seemed like that's what he need to do, but he probably won't. But again, there's fights for Loma to make, man. It's not that hard to figure out who the people gonna want to see, right? And he's never really shied away from challenges. Like I said, yeah, that's why I give him a lot of grace with all them amateur fights, with the way he hit the ground running, racked up the achievements, the accomplishments. He developed a bit of a nickname. No Lomachenko. That was dope. He had a hell of a run. You know what I'm saying? And even the fight that he lost last against Devin, a lot of people thought he won. A lot of people thought he won that fight. You get a whole lot, you know what I mean? People was crying robbery left and right. The Tszyu fight, Tszyu won, but he needed that 12th round to secure that victory, just like Devin, right? The fights played out differently. Devin started off real good, early. He started early against Loma with the body shots, and Loma picked it up in the middle of the fight, just like he normally do, to the back end, and he gave up that 12th. Same with Tszyu, but Tszyu won about 6-7 rounds straight. Then Loma put rounds in the bank, one after the next, and it looked spooky for Tszyu, but Tszyu was able to pull out that 12th round, and I think he might have threw 100 punches or more or something in that 12th round against Loma to secure it. If I'm not mistaken, that was the fight. Impressive by Tszyu, but you get my point with Loma and his competitiveness, man. The way he pushed guys is no secret, man. Nobody has ever gotten in there and just dominated him, made it look easy. Nobody has ever made Loma. Like, this is the interesting thing about Loma. As much as people say he started late, and I'm one of those people, he did. He started late. He was a little undersized, that lightweight, I believe, just to be real. I think he's a smaller lightweight. I don't think he's one of the big ones. He gave people hell. Like, nobody ever, even with him being an older guy, nobody ever made him look old in the ring, right? He fought Tszyu, that he didn't look old. He fought Devin, he didn't look old. He fought Kambosos, he didn't look old. Like, no fight ever that I've ever seen from Loma indicated that he looked old. Now, maybe you can say, I don't know, maybe there's some type of decline that would be fair because of what age he is, right? And you just you naturally slow down over the years, but overall, he don't look like some washed up fighter. He never looked like that. Like, think about his last performance, and even in his losses, how he looked in those. So the dude still looked like he clearly has something left in the tank. It wasn't no surprise that he was talking about retirement, because, again, back injuries are tricky, man. They've been known to end a career or two, you know what I mean, in multiple sports across the board. Back injury, something different. But I'm glad that we get some type of news, man. This is something different to talk about, man. Like, we ain't know Lomachenko was going to be entering himself back into the chat in 2026, Loma said, hold on, man. Hold on, y'all forgot about me, man. Hey, I mean, let me peek my head back out. You know what I'm saying? Papachenko and them over there watching, sitting back March 1st, rubbing they beards, man, they chins, rubbing their hands together, the Birdman rub. You know what I'm saying? They might be on their Mikey Garcia shit when it come to Tank. I see something. Or even Core. Maybe they like, man, his hands ain't holding up, man. Huh? Or maybe they like, yeah, they think Core it right now. I come back, maybe Loma like, man, I'll show y'all what I really did, what really happened in sparring with me and Core. You get me? I'm just throwing shit out there, I hope that's the energy he got, though. Like, one thing about it, man, I wish fighters like that were a little more vocal, like, not where you got to go out of your character and be like, disrespectful about it, but I would love to know, like, what his feelings and energy is for real. Like, one thing I hate announcements without some audio attached to it, right? Like I want to hear this dude say, man, look, man, I'm on my way back. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no tuna. You get me? I don't like hearing, oh, well, we reported Lomachenko said, like, nah, bro, where is that, man? Get the damn audio, man. I don't care if y'all gotta go to the Ukraine for it, man. Hey, you get me? It's somebody get the audio of Loma saying he coming back for real. Because I don't want to hear next week. I don't want to hear next week or hours from now or while I'm on this live, somebody come through the live stream and be like, man, man, Loma just tweeted, man. He said he ain't coming back. Like, you get me? Papachenko said he ain't coming back. Like, don't do that to me. Don't play with my emotions like that, G. Because when I hear the great Matrix Lomachenko is coming back, my mind get to going, G. I get to going, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be straight up. Soon I seen it yesterday. The first thing popped in my mind. So you gonna fight Shakur, huh? So you gonna fight Tate? Which one? Pick one. At this point, you playing Russian roulette. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you think could beat him worse or which one might give him a better fight or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you playing Russian roulette at this point. What should be about 38 coming back playing with these youngins. Yeah, man, you come back playing with these youngins, man. It could get spooked. It could get spooky, man. You get me? That's what I want to know. Like, pick an alley, man, because they both dark. Motown, what's good with it, fam? How you feeling, bro? You know what I mean? Pick an alley because they both dark. You know what I'm saying? You want to go night with Keyshawn? What the businessman be saying? Knockout. What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Take off a layoff, knockout. Or you think you seen something in the Lamont Roach fight? Let us know something. You know what I'm saying? Did Williams pay to show you some angles? Did he show you some areas that you could exploit? Like what happened? You know what I'm saying? Because I know it wasn't the Tszyu fight. I know it wasn't that. Or maybe it was the Tszyu fight. Maybe he like, damn, man, I let that dude beat me. I bet you I could beat Shakur. You know what I'm saying? He beat Tszyu. Tszyu didn't beat me, but I'll beat you. Maybe he like, man, I bet you got that. Now I'm going to go beat you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done sold out. Loma come right back out and challenge Corey, man. Everybody be on that. He come right out and challenge Tank. Everybody going to be on that. You know what I'm saying? What if Loma, you see an upload, Loma go live and he tell the world, man, I ain't no Lamont Roach. You gotta have some fun with it because he ain't gonna give a shit. Just imagine Loma right now. Yeah, he not do no interview, go live on his own account. And he start talking this shit like, man, look, I ain't no Lamont Roach, I ain't no Williams and Pater, I ain't no Josh Padley. Like, what if he just start talking crazy? You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't no damn Lamont Roach. Like, you get me? Guys, I'm not Lamont Roach. I'm no Lamont Roach. It's levels. What if Loma do an interview and start addressing the duck allegations, bro? You get me? What if he started addressing the duck allegations? You feel me? Like, what if he started? What if he like, I heard you? What if he start calling people out? I'm telling you, just think of the world right now. If he just start doing that, though, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That'd be something. Saying what? When Loma did Rigo like that, I was like, okay, dude, for real. Even though Rigo was smaller, yeah, he did my guy Rigo filthy, man. Funny about the retirement video. They said sitting on the chair from someone so military minded. I'm about to pull that up. You read my mind, bro. I was just about to remind y'all that. Take y'all down memory lane. Motown, shout out to him. He ain't going to court with Shakur way. Might not go to Tank way either. That alley dark, man. Tank out here turning people PSE and G off. Shout out to my dog, Mike Massick. How you feeling, bro? Always good to see you in the building. Meaty Riley is in the building. Mike Ron, man. Shout out to Mike and Mike. Always a good live with my brothers. Mike's is in the building, y'all. Shout out to my dogs. Dante, what's good, Brody? Y'all hit that like button, sub to the channel. Super chat, cash app, support the bill. We putting in that work. We having a good conversation today. You know what I'm saying? It's been the return of the matriarchs. You know what I'm saying? The Matrix is back. Y'all ain't excited. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta pull up. I gotta pull up his accolades, man. Gotta pull up his stats real quick, man. Loma see that bag. I was saying that Motown, but it's like then again, he's always seemed like a guy that hasn't whose career hasn't been solely dictated by the money, but regardless of that, man, they prize fighters. You know what I mean? Maybe he feel like there's money to be made and opportunities to achieve more accolades or snatch up some more stuff, right? That's what I'm hopeful of. I'm hopeful that's what it is for him. I hope that the reports are accurate down to the T, man, because I'm tired of these, piece of announcements. They come out, they say stuff, and then next thing you know, it's nothing, right? Then the fighter's shooting it down. Like I'm tired of that, bro. Like, is you coming back or not, bro? Loma, like, man, I see something. He got that Mikey Garcia. I'm telling you, he Birdman rubbing his hands together, bro. He done seen some fights. He like, man, nah, I could take. He seen Tank and Roach. He like, I could take him. I could take him. Check him out, though, man. Check out the Matriarchs, though, man. You hear me? You know what I mean? Papachenko the Matrix, man. He returning, man. 18-3, 12 KOs. You know what I'm saying? That's over 3 weight classes, 26, 30, 35. You get me? 2-time Olympic gold medal. It's 2-time. You get me? 2-time world amateur champion, man. You see the world titles he held. Y'all see the lineup, man. Don't get crazy. Don't forget. Loma was one of them, man. You feel me? Little dude, little Loma was getting in there, beat people ass. And it was fun, man. I loved it. So look, I'm gonna be honest too, because I like to be honest and transparent with y'all. I wasn't sold on Loma at first, and I'm gonna be honest. What turned me off about Loma wasn't even Loma, and I had to check myself. But it was like the narrative, and I had to keep it in mind. I wasn't taking into account that when you promoting a guy, especially in today's boxing, these dudes damn near be willing to say just about anything about their guy, right? And when I was hearing that, Loma was on the level of Pretty Boy Floyd, and he talking about he could beat Pretty Boy Floyd, and he better than Muhammad Ali. That shit hit my ear way wrong, like way wrong. I'm like, bro, what? He what? I'm like, you get me? Like he say what now? Like he better than who? What? Like he could beat Pretty Boy Floyd, and he better than Ali. That just turned me way off. And ever since then, I was always watching Loma with like the side eye. Like I see the talent, I see the skill, but I guess it was the machine and the favoritism that was turning me off. And it was like, man, this making me not really care to watch him. But after a while, I had to just look at it like, you know what? That's what promotion is. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make it seem like he's one of the best things in the world. And then when you really look and deep dive and you mute the TVs and say, never mind, and just watch him, the dude is phenomenal. He's hella athletic. The angles and shit, the speed, the combination punching. Get what I'm saying? The motor that Loma had, like especially in the prime Loma, he was tough to deal with, bro. He really was. He was really tough to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to him, man. Loma was definitely a lot for these dudes to handle. You know what I'm saying? Whole lot for these dudes. So I respect it, man. Like I say, you see the accolades: WBO featherweight, WBO super featherweight, WBA lightweight, WBO lightweight, WBC lightweight, IBF lightweight. Loma was in there getting it in, man. Loma was getting it in. He was getting it in, y'all. Loma was getting it in. You feel me? I'm trying to tell you, Loma was getting it in. You know what I'm saying? He like Tank Davis hit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ali. Was good with it. Hold on, what my guys say? Fabric G's in the building. Shout out to Motown. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, we just gonna build boxing up. No reason to hate. I be enjoying it too much to hate. For real, for real. I think he was retired, but also Helen. Right. Mag was good with it. Discredit Tank. Nah, we ain't doing that, and we ain't letting them do it. 12 was good with it. When our bud knew beforehand Loan was coming out, hence to say my name won't come back for money, but close the doubt. Yeah, man. That's why I didn't like Loma because of the comparisons to the greatest, but he is a great fighter. Yeah. And look, shout out to Fabric G's. It was just too soon. Like it was premature praise, right? He wasn't hyped because he really was like that. He really was good, but he was overpraised, right? They was saying these things even before he was able to really achieve anything, right? And it was like, bro, what? You can't just be comparing just everybody to Pretty Boy Floyd because they can box, bro. Like, all right, man, he nice, but I know he was the Matrix and all that, but he ain't no damn Floyd. Right? Respect, as great as he is, but Floyd was God-gifted generational talent. And respect to Loma, shit, he's on par with being one of those too. He just was a hell of a fighter. Like you don't win no back-to-back gold medals. And I get the whole thing of fighting the younger kids and stuff, but still a hell of a talented dude. And he turned pro and was beating ass the same. You know what I'm saying? But I just think turning pro elite and fighting some of these bigger guys and then staying in the amateur so long, that's just all that mileage. I think it caught up to him, right? Fighting the bigger guys. I felt like maybe he felt like that decision seemed like that Devin Haney decision really did take something out of him when he lost. You know what I'm saying? When he lost to Devin, y'all remember, man, he was hurt and he was talking about retirement. And it was surprised that he came back and did fought anybody. So maybe he got that itch again, and maybe he sees something. Maybe he's sitting back and feel like there's an opportunity to fight one of these guys and possibly win. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he ain't finished yet. He got some more miles in him. And I think a lot of us felt that way, right? Like you see him fight. You see him fought George Kambosos, and the way he stopped him and beat him so soundly, you could easily see him fighting for a while longer, right? You could easily see that. But, you know what I'm saying? I guess he called it quits for a minute. And now they saying he back. It's funny because now his contract's supposed to have expired. That's funny, man. Loma back in the mix, man. He like new contract. Who this? You know what I'm saying? Loma about to sign the MVP promotions, bro. Loma gonna be with Jake. You know what I'm saying? MVP, man. But I don't know where he gonna end up at. But I think it should get pretty interesting though. Where he end up at. He gonna have to go with somebody, right? Do he rock with Top Rank, being that they found a home again over there with the zone and you know, Golden Boy, right? Matchroom, the zone, and Golden Boy all under one umbrella with Top Rank as well. So do we go back that route? Or do he explore Zuffa? Do we go try to get that Zuffa back? That Zufas? You know what I'm saying? Do we see what Zuffa's got to offer? He has to come back, do something. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like for him to come back and be popping up out of retirement like this, it has to be for a reason, bro. You get me? Like, gotta be for a reason. Gotta be. You gotta be. And again, just to me, I know everybody like money, want money and all that stuff, but so I think that come with it. But he's a competitor, is what I'm saying. And you've never seen him just get in there and look like, oh, it was just about the money or the check, right? So I would think that, of course, you want to get paid, but maybe he still got that competitive edge, right, to him, that competitive nature. He want to prove himself again. Maybe he want to go out there against a guy like a Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis, and prove it. Because look, if you in the ring, you ain't too old. I don't care. You're 38, 48. You want to fight then. You get me? He's still gonna come back. He'll be a top guy. He'll be tough to deal with. No tune-ups is what you don't want, then we don't want to see it. Shit, Errol Spence, and this is another reason why he can fight either of these guys, because neither one of them got an opponent. And Tank, for what it's worth, Tank Davis has been inactive too. So y'all got that. That fight make more sense. If Errol Spence, after 3 years, could come back and fight Tszyu at a catch weight of 158, then there's no way in hell that Lomachenko, off his hiatus, can come back and fight a Shakur Stevenson, a Gervonta Davis. Take your pick. I really don't care. I'm not being picky. Whatever fight the people want, it seemed like they want the Tank fight because that was the last fight being negotiated. I see everybody, I see the videos. I don't mind it. I ain't picky. You know what I mean? I think either one of them is a good fight. For real, for boxing and for both guys. It's a good test. Loma not going to lay down. If he get in the ring, he definitely going to try to win. And that's what it make it interesting. With his style and his motor, the way he fight, you know what I mean? Think about the last time you seen him. He still look good. Him against Tank stylistically, that's a great, interesting matchup. For real. And I think it's still a way to salvage that particular fight. You get what I'm saying? I think that'd be better shit than a Lamont Rose rematch. I ain't even going to lie to you. Yeah, 38, back injury and all that. Coming off the layoff, man. Loma could make shit tricky in there, bro. That dude really could go. I'm telling you. I'd like to see him match up against anybody that's at the top because, I mean, at this age, man, you can't be coming back to play, you know? I can't wait to see where he end up and what direction he headed. Like that's what I said, guys like that. I wish he was more vocal, and I you know, I get it, you know, that's just ain't his thing, but I just wish, just a little bit, man, just a little bit, just a little bit. I respect all opinions, man. It's all good, bro. It's all good, but I'll give you this to think about, Luca. If Shakur is underrated and he got the machine behind him, what machine are you describing? Because they both came from top rank. They both came from top rank, and they were both two of the most successful and established and best fighters that Top Rank had on their roster. You get what I'm saying? So I respect all opinions, but it's tough to say a 4 division champion is overrated and he just got the machine behind him. I know that's what people would like to say, but is that the same machine that Loma had behind him? Because they both started at Top Rank. You get me? I think where Shakur is at right now has more to do about his consistency throughout the years and the success that he's established through those years, through the different weight classes, that's given him, I think, the attention that he's getting now. And finally, he's getting some of his just due. So it's tough to say that a guy like that is one of the most successful and accomplished fighters in the sport. In the history of the sport, is the guy that's overrated because of some machine that's by him. Like, think about it, bro. No matter how big the machine and no matter how great the marketing push and marketing scheme is, without the talent, you could go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You could think about the people that got the Mayweather blessing and it didn't pan out for him. And that's like the blessing of all blessings. So, you know what I mean? That's what boxing is. Everybody signs somewhere, and some guy, or you know, those, especially those top guys, they're fortunate enough to be with the bigger promotional companies where they can get those pushes, man. So Shakur deserves to have a machine, so to speak, behind him, right? That's how you get your name out there. But I think he's been able to kind of change the narrative himself. And none of it is based on who's pushing him in the machine, but it's what he's been able to do in his last few fights in particular, and then his overall career. So I think that's what's going on. This is same with Loma. He's had the machine. Think about it. Anytime you got somebody willing to push that you're better than Pretty Boy Floyd and you're on the level of Muhammad Ali, that ain't the machine. You get me? Anytime you get an opportunity to fight Salido in your second fight, you lose. You go into a fight with Gary Russell, who ended up being the longest reigning featherweight champion in the history of the sport, right? You get to fight him at 1-1 coming off a loss. That's not the machine pushing you. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to change your mind because I respect all thoughts. I just want you to reconsider that how you see it. You get what I'm saying? The machine is not a bad thing. Those guys need to be pushed. That's how they grow. You get what I'm saying? You need somebody behind you. But with Loma smoking inactive Tank, I mean, could it happen? Yeah, it could, but I don't think so. And I'm glad that Candor is saying that. That's cool. I don't want to have to block you, fam. We got to come in, just talk some boxing, bro. If you feel like Loma destroyed Tank, say that. But once you attack me, a delusion, like we can't do that because you just came in here, and I don't want to have to block you, fam. Just talk boxing. No, don't insult me to talk boxing. And this is me being giving you a fair shake without just snapping at you, because I could just go in. We ain't here for that. Talk boxing. You feel like Loma, cool. That makes the conversation better. Somebody feels like Loma destroyed Tank. That's great. That means let's see the fight. Let's hope Loma and the powers that be feel the same way, right? Let's hope everybody's on board with making that fight once and for all, because as memory serves me correct, when they were negotiating, it was Loma who then pulled out of negotiations and then shortly retired after. It wasn't Tank. So again, I don't want to go back too far. I want to go back 5-6 years ago. I just want to go back to the most current situation. When that fight didn't materialize and happen, it wasn't because of Tank. So could Loma possibly get in the fight and destroy Tank? I mean, anything is possible in boxing. But if we just being real, layoff or no layoff, Tank is a bad man. And it ain't that much ring rust in the world to change him from being the bad man that he is. And I got the same respect for Loma. Layoff or not, he gonna come back and be able to compete with the top guys with no problem. You get what I'm saying? Because he just that type of talent. You get what I'm saying? I'm a totally different dude. Don't ever insult my boxing intelligence because I don't want to cry and try to diss Tank. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all seen the knee, but we ain't talking about that. We out here building up a potential fight or his next opponent, right? I don't want to trash Tank to try to, you get what I'm saying? Because again, if Tank is so this and that, and oh, he got beat by Roach, then what we talking about? Why even pursue a fight with Tank? You say all this and that about Tank, but if Lomachenko's come out of retirement right now to fight Tank, and look who the people that they asking him to fight. Look what fighter they linking his name to the most, at least for what I've seen so far, is Tank. I don't have an issue with it. So it's like, and if right or wrong, if Loma fought Tank tomorrow, right, in his very next fight, would that be the best fighter that he's ever fought to date? Would most people feel that way? You get what I'm saying? They absolutely would. So again, man, you can say all the roach shit. We seen that. We talked about that. I'll get to that when it makes sense to talk about it. But for this conversation, we talking about maybe that's the fight that Loma seen. You know what I mean? Maybe seen the Roach fight. Maybe he like, I could do it. I believe I could fly. You know what I'm saying? Loma said, hey, I could get out there again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Loma said, I took a rest, man. I got the itch. You know what I'm saying? They talking about me. They said I've been ducking. You know what I'm saying? What if he come back? Because look, he come back and make some top fights. I think people could leave the duck tag alone. I never looked at this guy as a duck because he came into the game very accomplished, as one of the absolute most accomplished amateurs in the history of the sport, and then went on to be one of the more accomplished guys in the history of the sport in such short proximity, right? Let's never forget how fast he became a 3-division champion. Y'all got to start remembering, man, for the new people that be clicking this link. I don't know how you got here, if the algorithm just dragged you here, but realize where you at. You on a channel called Just Do Boxing. Don't expect me to be talking crazy about Tank so it can make a certain crowd of people feel good. Don't expect me to overpraise him to make another set of people feel good. But you can guarantee that I'm going to talk the way it need to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? That dude coming off a layoff will be a very tough fight for Lomachenko. Lomachenko margin for error would be a small one. That window, he would have to be very smart in there, defensively responsible. I don't care what you say. As great as he is, the angles, the speed, the combination punch, and all that stuff I was just mentioning, the IQ, the experience. All that being said, Tank got a lot of those same qualities, if not every last one, just different, right? But he got game-changing, fight-changing power. And that's something, and the accuracy, the IQ, right, and the experience to land it. So again, whether you think Loma is a tough fight and whether you think he'll get in there and just buzzsaw right through Tank, cool. I'm glad you think that way. I hope enough people feel that way, and to the point where the fight is actually willed into existence, so we could put it to bed once and for all what would have happened in that fight. I don't want to hear about his back. I don't want to hear about his age. I'm gonna remember Buddy came through here and called me delusional and talked about how easy it'd be for Loma to beat Tank. All right, cool. All right. And that's how I know the difference between people that want to talk boxing and people that want to be super fans. At no point in boxing, whether it would have happened all them years ago when you first wanted it to, when they negotiated, if it happened now, at no point would Tank get smoked by Loma, in my opinion, based off what I've seen. That it's no significant skill gap on Loma's side where Tank could just be, in over his head. But Loma has some qualities and some things he do from a stylistic standpoint that could make the fight very challenging for a Tank Davis. But the same token, we seen how Lomachenko approached the fight with a guy in Teofimo that had punching power. Now, he said it was his shoulder, and he eventually started using that shoulder. But we seen how he approached that fight. He was very cautious about letting his hands go. He waited to like 7 rounds in to throw more than, single-digit punches, right? So you never know how he approach a fight with Tank. He might be on his P's and Q's. He might be hesitant to pull the trigger. We've seen this shit before. We can't just say he gonna go in there and nah, man, that shit get you knocked out. I'm telling you. So he'll have to go in there and be smart. Hopefully he could be the Matrix or high tech and all that other shit they be calling him, because he would need that. being subpar, being a lesser version of yourself, and then going in there with Tank and just banking on him not being focused or something and beating him, good luck with that shit. Because even whether you thought he was focused or not focused for the Lamont Roach fight, that shit still ended in a draw. I know some people feel like Lamont edged it on one of them, so it's cool. But at the end of the day, he was not able to beat him decisively enough. If that's the best you can do on an off night, just imagine him fully focused and pissed off about some shit. And I'm telling you, I've said this all the time, and I said it for years, even before a channel. Focus Tank is a dangerous Tank. That man get back in the gym, lock in the lab, you know what I mean? Get his people back around him. He gonna be hard to deal with. Ain't no Lomachenko just gonna run up in there and just beat him with ease. Sure, yeah, right. Good luck with that shit. Good luck with that. That's what I'm saying, man. At that top level, man, those it'd be a game of inches, bro. These levels that we be talking about, that gap become a smaller one, much smaller, because they operate at the same level. You would say Loma's an A-level talent. I would say Tank is too. Get what I'm saying? That's a competitive fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I don't know if people really call it 50-50 with Loma being inactive and coming off the back surgery, right? Maybe 60-40 Tank favor because of that and the age, maybe. But it's still a competitive fight on paper and in the ring, I believe. Blunt sports. My dog was good with it, bro. How you feeling? Little my mind thinks Loma was on a little something when he lost to Cambo. Oh, when he outs Cambosis. Prime Loma losing to both Corey and Tank. I think so too. I think it would have been closer fights. Andre Ward dropped the episode with his wife. Bet I'm gonna check that joint out, man. With his wife, I'm gonna check that joint out. I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, man, I think those would have always been good fights. I think early on when they first talked about Tank and Loma, I think Loma had the edge at that particular time. I do. I think Tank's team and handlers felt that way too. Maybe not his coaches and stuff, but I think Floyd felt that way. You know what I mean? The way when you hear a guy saying, "Oh, he just want to fight us because he old and this and that," and it's like, nah, he want to fight you because of the name you got. Got one of the biggest names in the sport, and people feel like you the guy that can be beat. And Loma would have been willing to challenge, but to me, I felt like Loma's a fighter, right? I don't think he would have shied away from the Tank fight, but I question if Bob Arum ever wanted to truly make that fight. I don't think he really did. I don't think he cared. And I specifically remember an interview where he snapped on the person asking a question about Tank. Why would I look to make a fight with Tank Davis when I could make it with other guys on the roster? He said something to that effect, but he snapped at the guy for even asking about Tank. So it just was always like these little discrepancies, little talks, and Floyd threatened, the put Loma on Tank, and Tank was saying this. I get all of that stuff. That shit just be talk at the end of the day. That fight never was put together. It was never negotiated. The only point in which that fight was negotiated was a while back before Loma retired. That's the only point the fight was being negotiated. And that lets you know right then and there that it had nothing to do with being scared. Now, there's a conversation you could say was early for Tank, and maybe he wasn't at his best. And that's why I say Loma was closer to being in his prime than Tank would have been when they first ever brought it up. So there's a possibility that Loma could have had some type of edge at that particular moment, but it really didn't matter because it wasn't like his promoter was barking down, Tank's door to try to make that fight. He was perfectly fine building Loma and getting him the fights he was getting. You get what I'm saying? He was not losing no sleep about Lomachenko not fighting Tank, because even again, as good as Loma is, Bob know full well Tank is a dangerous fighter. And if you could make other fights that your guy got a better chance of winning for sure, without taking the kind of risk that exists with fighting Tank, what you think gonna happen? So a lot of this should be business, and we seen that at the end. A lot of people want to make Loma out to be a duck for not accepting the fight. I say this shit is water under the bridge if he come back, especially start trying to fight top guys right away. So hope he pick up where he left off. He left off at Cambosis. I don't know what will be an ideal coming back opponent, but look, for my money, for obvious reasons. The layoff, the backstory, they both coming off layoffs. Y'all was negotiating once before. Get them negotiations back on and fight Tank. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad at it at all. You know what I mean? At least y'all both working with inactivity. It's a top guy, right? You said no tune-ups, right? What would be better than to come back and fight a champion, a guy that people wanted to see you fight for years, right? And I'm just assuming because you don't want tune-ups is what they saying. You want seeking to make the biggest fights possible as a promotional free agent. Turkey. Somebody get Turkey on the line, bro. He's talking about sources. You get, y'all sources. Somebody want to make the biggest fights possible, okay? I see you. We want to see the biggest fights possible, G. You feel me? And I was thinking tune-up. I forgot. I commented on a post on Twitter. One of my guys had a post, and I said something about a tune-up. He messed around and get punched back to the Ukraine. But I was sad. I was mistaken. They said, nah, he want the big dogs. But again, I'm gonna take this with a bit of a grain of salt because it's early and shit like this sound good. But when you really start to sit down, hey man, I have been off for a while. Do it make sense to jump right back into the deep end? Or do it make sense to kind of get my feet back wet, even if it's one fight? So even though this report is out, even though they're saying the biggest fights, even though other people is reporting specifically no tune-ups, right? We still got to wait and see what's available, who he end up with. Does he remain a promotional free agent? How does that work out for him? Is it going to be easier for him to get fights or harder? Do you have to go back to Bob Arum or somebody under that umbrella? Are you going to mess with Turkey, right? Is you going to get that Zufas back? The Zufas, what my boy Kyle say? The Zufas. Says you got to put the S on it. The Zufas. The damn Zufas. Tank Loma to fight to support Maypac too. Look, I'm all for pugilism. I'm 100% in favor of seeing this fight, G. You get me? 100%. But it's wishful thinking, though, man. It is. It's wishful thinking because it's just too much like right. You know what I'm saying? But this would be way better than some pit bull rematch for Tank. I ain't gonna lie. You can scrap that. And low key, y'all both need a real opponent. Y'all both need a real opponent. Both of y'all, man. You want to splash when you come back. Tank could come right back and fight this dude. Right now. And he could do the same. Shit. Especially with dude just saying how he'll wash him. Y'all throw his ass in there. Throw him in the deep end, Tony. Moment not happen on an undercard. Undercard? Hell nah. Not no undercard. I wouldn't think so. You because you said Maypac. I thought he was calling it like a Maypac too, like Tank Loma, that fight to support Maypac too. Yeah, that like you. I thought that's what he was calling that, like a Maypac too. I didn't think he was saying put that on the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd too. You know what I'm saying? Hell nah. This is a separate event. You know, and Tank ain't going for that. Hell no. He wouldn't even. I don't even think he would want to do that. I ain't gonna lie to you. That dude would not want to do that. He would want it to be his show, rightfully so. But this fight deserves his own show. This fight deserves his own show. You know what I'm saying? Even at 38? Come on, Loma, Vasyl, High Attack, Matrix. Come out and play, man. Loma say he about to come out and get some mud on his boots, man. Huh? Loma said he coming out to get some mud on his boots. And y'all ain't gonna be able to stop him from doing it. Reef. You know what I'm saying? Hell nah. The main event or nothing. I couldn't see it being no other way, though. Way better fight. You get me? Scrap that pit bull shit. Raymond Moritai got a homecoming in August. He ain't fighting. Core is active. Do you want to come right back and fight Core? And I doubted Core. Last fight was at 140, right? Even though he said 35 and 40. If that's what you want to do. But again, the main reason I was leaning towards Tank is because they actually negotiated before. And people keep syncing the names together, and they both been off for some time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Throw him right back in there and let them sharpen each other's sword, right like that. Let them knock the ring rust off against each other, right? Who in the hell would be against that? You get me? Who the hell could be against that? Watching these two knock the ring rust off each other. You get me? So man, I think that's the fight to make, man. It is, yo. Everybody hit the like button, bro. PMP is 50 Cent and Floyd. 50 Cent Floyd. And then they got unfinished business. He got unfinished business with Tank and Corey, if we really being honest. So shout out to Loma, man. Maybe he couldn't maybe he couldn't take it no more sitting on the sidelines. He's seeing his money being made. He's seeing his legacy being snatched up. Or maybe he just see a window where he could get in here and snatch up a couple more wins that add to his legacy. But we'll see, because you coming back after this much time, and again, your contract was up, so now you're a free agent. I can't stress that enough, how strategic that seems to me right now. And not even a bad thing, man. Maybe it's okay to test the waters out a little bit. Or maybe you to the point where maybe Loma been looking at the chessboard and he feel like he don't really need to be promoted by nobody. I don't know. I don't know what he thinking, but I just want to see him get back, and I hope it's a top fight. Just like they reporting, I hope it's one of those quote-unquote big fights. Yeah, 35, 40. I just don't ever see Loma going up to 40, though. So 35, yeah. And that's what another reason why I was suggesting Tank, simply because his last fight was at 35. It was a draw, right? Maybe I was joking earlier in the stream. I said maybe he think he sees something, right? Because everybody's so convinced that it's Tank luring him out of retirement. But look, hey, man, I just want to see good fights. And every time I've ever seen Loma, he was fighting at a high level. I've never seen Loma not fight at a high level. So I have no reason to believe that he's not still capable of doing exactly what I seen him do the last time. You get me? Even with some time off. And like I said, all time off ain't a bad thing. These dudes be on the grind, and that wear and tear is like, I don't know, man. It's tough to measure the way they grind their bodies down over the years, bro. And that's why injuries be happening. You constantly training, you constantly working out, breaking your body down, building it back up, right? Trying to recover, taking fights, sparring, all that stuff, the running. That stuff just take a toll. And I do think it get to a point where guys do need a break. And maybe that's what he needed. Needed a break. Look, Errol Spence, to me, I said it the whole time. It probably was mental, but it was physical as well, man. Him probably just needing a break away from the sport on both ends, mental and physical. So now that he seemed like he got that break, now he back. Maybe Loma didn't need as long of a break, right? And you know what I mean, he did leave on a high note, and maybe he coming back to pick up where he left off. Maybe that's why they saying like no tune-ups, and he's trying to make, the biggest fights available, like the biggest fights possible. Because I mean, time is of the essence. You're only getting older, and if you got the name and the pull to get right back in the mix and fight somebody quality, the fans gonna love it, win, lose, or draw, for real. And let's be honest, Loma could come right back and be better than a lot of people right now and give people a run for their money. I just never seen a boring Loma fight, a bad Loma fight, and I've never not seen him compete at an elite level. I just never seen it, even in losses. Get what I'm saying? All his losses is competitive losses, even from the Salido, right? That was debatable. Tszyu, it's not debatable, but he was on Tszyu ass in that second half, right? Haney fight. A lot of people feel debatable, felt like he won it, right? So that's the guy we talking about. So Loma's still a bad man. You know what I mean? Even at 38, you feel me? Shout out to Jay. What's good, homie? We no longer in love with the sport, right? And that's and you get me, Jay, and at that point, it becomes a whole different fight. So I just try to be realistic. I don't want to call none of these dudes ducks when you proven to be about something. And Loma is proven at least that much. I just do feel like, again, not fighting the Shakurs or Tank and fighting the Camboses in between opportunities to fight either of them, I just think it was business. Smart, you know what I mean? Conserving yourself, you know what I mean? Trying to go out on a high note. You know what I'm saying? If you had to be talked into it, you wasn't already 100% made up yourself, then I could see why you would choose the lighter touch. People could say what they want. Oh, he's soft for that, man. The dude ain't soft. He been fighting bigger guys for years, yo, and beating their asses. So, nah, he ain't scary. He ain't soft. He ain't no duck. I think he just strategically picked the more winnable fight out of the three. Now, people could try to you could reduce him to whatever, but that's one decision out of so many, one or two decisions out of so many. So I get it. He was at the end. It wasn't like he chose Kambosos and went on like a lower level, you know, how they call a bum bashing tour. And I don't even like using that word, but fighting a whole bunch of lower tier guys. It ain't like that's what he did. So I get it. You know what I mean? Business is business. I was old. Look, damn, I ain't, you know, I'm thinking about retiring. Pops in my ear. They talking about Shakur. I'm like, nah, then Kambosos come up and they like, you know what? Well, maybe I can get, you know, maybe I can do it one more time. And then even maybe you consider the Tank fight for a little bit, right? While you negotiated and you said, hell with it, you know what? I'm out. I don't know. Maybe it was money. Now, I mean, I did hear a couple of whispers about it being some issues there. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe with him coming back, he get a clean slate and maybe he can get exactly what he's looking for. I don't know. You know, but I just want to see the fight. If they can make it, just make the fight. You know what I mean? It's a really good fight to see, even with even at this stage. I think so. You know what I mean? Right? Tank showed some vulnerabilities in the Lamont Rose fight, right? Didn't have to lose to show that, right? We've seen Loma lose multiple times, just show vulnerabilities, layoffs. You know what I mean? Let's see the fight. Age Rose draw, court case are not the same stock. He still always, and I think he need a good excuse me. I think he need a good dance partner too. I think it would serve Tank. I think it would serve Tank very well if he had a good dance partner. I really do. I really do. And especially now with the way things have materialized from the draw to the expected rematch to the okay Jake Paul to the okay no none of that, then you know just the hiatus. I think a good dance partner will really serve Tank well. You get me? You get me? And for what it's worth, y'all, I just truly hope that he comes back sooner than later, fully focused. I hope you know, Vasyl Lomachenko is coming back, as they saying, sooner than later. And I hope exactly what they're reporting. Like he want to make the biggest fights. That mean no tune-ups. Like he's seeking the biggest fights possible, not no tune-ups. They saying he's not looking to fight guys that, you know, he's expected to beat. You want to go after them names. And if you want to get right back into the deep end, you want to go walk down the dark alley. What darker alley to walk down than the one with Gervonta Tank Davis name attached to it, right? That guy, like I said earlier, is literally PSE and G in some of his fight. He really could turn your electricity out and off. You get me? So you choose your poison. You want that boxing lesson? You know what I'm saying? Do you want that on your soul? You want to be thinking about round after round how you can't do nothing with him? Because that could happen with Corey. It's possible. Or you could do you want to, you know, you could compete. Maybe he ain't got fight changing power. You feel like your chances is better. You got some unfinished business there. The fight was offered. Corey been talking like you scared to fight him, right? Maybe you like, I'm gonna show him. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's like, well, Tank ain't that scary. Lamont Rose could do it. I could do it, right? Maybe you said that. Oh, he took a knee. Oh man, he ain't focused. Oh man, maybe you like Mikey. I see something at Pops. I see something. Maybe you think you got it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just straight up got the itch and you like, look, whatever big fight, whatever top fight I can make, that's what I'm on. And that's what you do. If you could find another fight outside of Shakur or Tank, I wouldn't cry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I still think the likelihood of either of them is low, but I'm still gonna talk about what I feel like make the most sense. And I don't care what you say. You negotiated with him before. You don't have nothing definitely on this docket, and neither do he. And again, they keep saying that Pitbull cruise shit, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need to see that again. I ain't gonna cry if that's what they do, but if I had it my way, that's a no-brainer. I think that's a great dance partner. I think that's a great way to like garner interest in what you're doing. And you know what Tank do is already tend to be viral. Now, say you come back and use to make a splash. Like, think about the talks already when they thought this fight was about to happen. When we heard about the negotiation, they like, okay. Some people's like, oh, you want to fight him now? And they start complaining. But some people's like, okay, we finally gonna get this fight. So you want to see it. Style-wise, Tank with a low punch output, Loma with a good motor, creativity, angles. You get what I'm saying? Both of them got good reflexes, timing. Don't have really long arms, neither one, right? Tank got fight-changing power. You know, Loma got shit, unlimited boxing skill, right? Or I don't want to say unlimited, but he just got a high IQ, right? With all the boxing skill you would need. So the matchup is great for that reason. You know what I'm saying? How would Tank deal with that? Would the angles bother Tank? Because he got fast feet too. He's an athlete for sure. He got cat-like reflexes. That shit still would be fun. If Loma can still compete at an elite level at the age he's at, I guarantee you that's a fight that everybody would want to see. I guarantee you would enjoy Tank Davis and a Lomachenko fight. And that's I'm strictly talking to the boxing fans, not the people that's gonna keep saying the same shit. Well, you should have fought boxing 7, 8, 10, 9, 11, 12 years ago. Shut up, shut up, shut up. We should have, could have, would have. We can't go back. We could only go forward and deal with the present. So right now, they're talking about coming out of retirement. Right now, a lot of people are talking about this Tank Davis. It sounds like it's him. Some people even went as far as saying that that's who we fighting next. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna definitely tell you this is a fight I wouldn't mind seeing at all. You got unfinished business, kid. They felt like your duck Tank. You know what I'm saying? With my bro Cadillac, on my soul, they felt like you ducked that, man. You get me? People wasn't feeling when you was sitting in the chair like a military style, like a hostage. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how you retired. We wasn't trying to hear that shit, Loma. We wasn't trying to hear that shit, Sharif. You get me? Loma sitting up there. It's been a long time, you know. It's been a long time. Guys, it's been a long time. You know, I boxed a lot. I won a lot. 2 gold medals. Like, all right, bro. You out? All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Your ass to be back. You know what I'm saying? We could tell by the military style interview you did that you'll be back. So now he a free agent. Let's see who signed him up. Let's see if he signed back or he just, you know what I mean? He tried to get it how he lived. Shout out to Mike Kirk. How you feeling, bro? Always good to see my guy in the building. He said egos are a thing in sports. It makes money with ego. Tank Loma, which may not even happen, is a main event fight. Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Cat Sports. So it's absolutely a main event. I don't think I couldn't think it wouldn't be nothing else. You know what I'm saying? In its own right, it deserves to be. Should be. You know what I'm saying? Should be. For sure. 100% should be a main event fight. Netflix not feeling the buzz from Maypac 2 on his own. They were going to take him along my offer. They can't refuse, saying you're not that big, chasing Jake Paul and turning around Maypac 2 on the car. But shit, even that, though, still was a main event. You get what I'm saying? Pugilism, even him and Jake, they was going to be the main event to their joint. You know what I'm saying? That's where his ego lies, right? Is he willing to be something less than a main event? But you make an interesting point. We never know. You know what I mean? If he can make an offer, he can't refuse. And that's the fight. Maybe he do say the hell with it. You know what I mean? Because I think it being on Netflix changes things, right? I think that bag Netflix been dishing out been a hefty one, and maybe it could be a big crowd. So I'm not against it. Let's be clear, but I just feel like his ego in getting away, or just the fact that he feel like he's a star, like bro, and then the floor shit, like you get me. So I don't know, but I wouldn't be against it. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? But I would, if it would be any resistance at all from anybody, I would think it would come from Tank's side for obvious reasons. The Floyd shit and just he is star in his own right? He probably feel like his name should be big enough to be able to, they had their own shit. But like you said, with Netflix, maybe the bag, the offer would be different, the opportunity. He was about to entertain Jake Paul over there on Netflix for a big ass bag. So, you know, anything is possible with the inactivity, with the missed opportunity. Maybe if the right kind of offer is made, maybe he'll look at it as that I can't miss out on another opportunity. So, you know, just to kind of acknowledge what you're saying, I could see the possibility, but I could also see like if it's any resistance, it's gonna be Tank. Blue was good with it, homie. You get me? I could see it being him like, you know, being a little hesitant. So we'll see, man. I just hope we get more news. I hope that, like I said, everything was solid with this announcement, and we could get Loma. We could see Loma back sooner than later. Maybe Loma in the mood now. Yeah, you feel me? Cassie in the mood now. You know it. Right, Coach Shakur, Tank fight. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But the only reason I even thought a Tank thing was possible because of the similarities with the layoffs, the time off, and the fact that it's been a fight that they got some history. They was, you know, already negotiating once upon a time. So it wouldn't seem like it's, you know what I mean? It seemed like it'd be a good play. Tank need a good opponent, a dance partner. I don't think people really care about Pitbull, but at the same time, it's people that don't care who he fight. They just want to see him fight. But I think Lomachenko would be a much better fight. We always tell guys to challenge themselves, this and that. So just because you and again, I'm gonna say this: if Errol Spence could fight Tszyu at 158 after 3 years, Tank and Loma could fight each other. And I'm saying that on either side. I ain't saying nobody don't want it or scared. That's why I was suggested and don't think it's crazy. I know business got to make sense, but if this man was coming back anytime soon and it's anytime around the same time as Lomachenko, Tank, go line him up, man. Because me personally, I want to see the fight for the matchup. I think they match up well. And I would just like to see Tank shut them people up. I know they still going to be, he ain't his back, his neck, his feet. Like, I don't want to hear that. The Ukraine, like I don't want to hear none of that. When y'all ask for something, sometimes you ask for something, you don't get it exactly when you want it. You get it when they can give it to us, man. And if it's any opportunity, like I'm saying, I can't work out the business for him, but if there's any opportunity for this fight to happen, let's see. Both of them off a layoff. I don't think it's a bad fight. I don't think it's that much ring rust in the world to change Tank from being the phenomenal fighter that he is. He got over 30 plus fights as a professional. Bunch of over 100, more than a couple hundred fights, I believe, as a what he got over 200 fights as an amateur as well. So altogether, he got over 250 fights, right? Amateur and pro. He got a lot of experience, the right kind of training camp. He probably been training. Who knows, right? And if that's the case, Loma, who knows? He probably been keeping himself in shape. So if that's the case, man, it could be make that shit so people could shut up. So we don't gotta complain. I know they still gonna complain, but we gonna know they can't complain for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fight if you come back, fight. Cause this is the argument I make about the Loma being old shit. Old, everybody miles and everybody age different in boxing, right? I get all the amateur fights, but I've never seen Lomachenko perform like an old guy. Have y'all? Y'all ever seen a fight where you was watching Loma? You like, damn, he look old. He need to retire, man. He getting his ass whooped. He getting washed. You ever watched that? You ever found yourself saying that in the Lomachenko fight and all the fights he got? Man, 18-3, right? All the fights he got. You ever seen him like out there like, damn, man, it's looking bad for Loma, man. He shouldn't be out there, man. Like, this dude need to hang it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's still doing this shit, right? Like, you probably never felt that way. So, I mean, shout out to my brother, Mike Kirkland, man. Little support for the truth. Now, that's big support for the truth. Big shout out to Mike Kirkland for that 10-piece in the super chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button, sub to the channel, support the grind, super chat, cash app, support your guy. And we going to keep building. So that narrative as well, what the boxing world not saying Loma's broke because he's coming back. Oh, yeah, you know, people tend not to push those type of narratives when it don't be our own, you know, when it be the other people. We'll let them make it, right? If it was anybody else, they'd probably be speculating that. But for me, it seemed like Loma, like they all prize fighters, so I know they want to get paid, feed their families, but I think he's always been motivated by accolades and legacy, I think, as well. And the reason I say that, as accomplished as he was as an amateur, you know, he was very goal driven. You know what I mean? You ever ask yourself, people, we talk about the 2 gold medals, but you never ask yourself what would make somebody even do it all over again a second time as opposed to just turning pro. I think when you that good at something and you get what I'm saying, and just probably goal driven, he said, you know what? I probably could do this twice. And he did it. I mean, then he turned pro, hit the ground running, and he really became just one of the more accomplished guys in 21 fights. You know what I'm saying? This man got 21 fights, and it's less than that 21. He made it to be the fastest 3-division champion in the sport. Shit, you gotta respect that shit. Titles in all the weight classes, fighting undersized at lightweight. Respect the Loma, man. The Matrix returns. Bring your ass back there. Bring your ass back, because Tank said, I heard Tank administering melatonin to the very next person that he fight. I heard through the grapevine that Tank been going through some thing, and the very next person he fight, he administering melatonin and NyQuil. That's what I heard. You know what I'm saying, that's what I heard. You know what I'm saying, I don't know how true it is, but you know what I mean, I hope Loma is the one to find out. And Cambo's like an amateur at best. Yeah, he 702. He whipped Cambo's ass for real. He beat him up something for real. So I don't know, man. I know it's early, and I know you can't. I don't want to make it seem like this is a fight that's happening now. But I gave y'all my thoughts as to why I feel like it should have happened. You get me? You know what I mean? You want to make big fights. We know what the big fights are. Shakur just sold out MSG. Tank fight a guy that people wanted to see him fight for years and make a splash. I think it'll do great numbers as well. And I think a lot of other people see it that way. I think those are some of the biggest fights you can make right off the bat. I'm being completely honest. I think those are two of the most lucrative fights you can make off the bat too. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, let's keep rolling, man. Let's keep rolling. I wanted to talk about something I seen from Andre Dirrell, y'all. Seen something from Andre Dirrell. He was over there on Fight Hype, I think over there with Ron Goodall is his name, and he was having this interesting conversation. He had like this, that's like kind of warning for Errol Spence, and being wary of Tszyu and possibly ending up like a Roy Jones Jr. So I just wanted to let y'all hear that, get my thoughts on it. Say, but almost 400 amateur though, yeah, I'm telling you. Tank Loma was a unification crazy, man. It would have been dope if they could have unified the IBF and the WBA titles together, because that's what it would have been if they would have fought. They asses would have fought. That would have been. What if Kid Schofield get to fight what with Loma? Bro, Kid could get his ass kicked, man. I think Loma is just too creative, man. Like he would have the only way he beats Loma, he has to stop Loma. If you talking about him. Melbourne Chino. Shout out to Chino. What's good, fam? Yeah, you feel me? Like I think he had to knock Loma out. He had to spark it. He have to. Because that'd be an extremely tough fight. I think Loma could confuse him. It'd be interesting to see how he deal with Loma's footwork or something like that. I know you ain't talking about Tank. For me, I just feel like that's a gnat waiting to happen. I think at some point, if Tank ever was to fight K Dawson, especially soon, because I've seen some videos about that, I feel like he'll stop him. I think dude just too inexperienced, younger, too inexperienced. He don't got enough. Little wet behind the ears to conquer that mountain that Tank is. Think he can make things interesting because he's athletic. He fight, Tank a slow start or stuff like that. But ultimately, I think the end result is Tank sparking, knocking him out, or stopping him by the ref stopping him or something like that. But yeah, everybody hit the like button. We're gonna keep rolling. But let's get to this, man. Andre Dirrell was talking about the warning because we all know Errol Spence got this fight coming up with Tszyu, and it's not, being honest, it's not gonna be no easy fight. You know what I mean? It ain't, but I thought what he said was interesting. It was worth us listening to. Yeah, I mean, Mama Schofield, I think, Papa Schofield, TT Schofield, I think he be thinking about the money his son could make too. Cause he speak about the money so much. It's almost starts to make you feel like, like he's not worried about winning as much as he is securing bags. And look, that's the whole goal of it, to make as much money, I'm pretty sure, as possible out of this shit. But that's the feeling I get. You know what I'm saying with him? It's the feeling I be getting. Like I get that feel that he kind of just, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Let's get this joint out there. James was good. Let me tell you.
I think in some people's mind, there's a fight coming up that.
I mean, look, they all do. They prize fighters, so I would never be 100% or complete or dismissive of the fact that guys want to be paid. But I think he might see an opportunity. Maybe he might see the lightweight division ain't as tough as what it was or as competitive. I don't know. Maybe he just see room for opportunity to get back in there somewhere, right? Maybe he got that bug, that itch, and he want to get back in there and fight. So I wouldn't doubt that guy want to make more money, but I think the competitor in Loma, he's always shown us that he was about competing and beating ass. So I think if he coming back, it'll be for a good reason. But let's hear what Andre Dirrell had to say about this Errol Spence and this Tszyu situation, this fight that's coming up. I think it's gonna be fun. And then I got a little short interview. Sean Porter, I believe it was, interviewing Errol Spence, and then I got the Tszyu side of it. So we're gonna get into that, man. Everybody hit the like button. Let's keep building. I'm gonna say legacy. Yeah, nah. But it's both though, because you could tell he chased legacy. Think about it. The man was fighting Gary Russell Jr. in his third fight for his title. Like, you get me? So, was it for a title? I think it was. Glad Loma's back to get stopped at our box at 130. You already know him, dog. I told him both of them alleys is dark, man. He just got to pick one, whichever alley he choose. Do he want the NyQuil Nightmare, or do you want the, the boxing Lesion? You know what I'm saying? What you need? You know what I'm saying? The NyQuil Nightmare, the melatonin nap, or you know what I'm saying? The boxing wizardry, you know what I'm saying? You want to be out there fighting ghosts and demons. Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What you want? But yeah, man, 38, Loma said I'm coming to cash in on some couple things, man. He sees something. But let's hear what Andre Dirrell had to say about our guy, EJ.
That some people might feel is a little crazy that after a couple years of not fighting, that you want to come back to a sport and fight a really big guy at 158 as in Tszyu, and I'm talking about Errol the Truth Spence Jr. And so, what do you think? Is that something where it's the cliche boxing story where like I can't get away from it, I love it, I should probably step away, but I'm back? Or do you feel like he needed that rest? He was always going to come back, but he just needed to get his body and mind and soul right so that he could come in and take over, what he feels is his again.
Without question, it's a little bit of both, 50-50. It's hard to stay away from this sport, right? And at the same time, after a fight like that, you need adequate rest, man. You need time to think about your career. You need to look at the fact that you've completed or accomplished so much in this sport. So maybe it's time to give it a rest, or maybe I can get back here and be who I used to be. You know what I'm saying? So he had time to contemplate in both aspects. Right. And I'm sure he did that with the right counsel, man. And then this fight he's taking, listen, it's Tszyu, man. We all know he's a tough cookie. And it seems like Errol always wants.
And real quick, I just want to highlight, you see how quick he pointed out how difficult it is for people to completely walk away from the sport. That's probably what it is with Loma. It was people that when they heard Loma was leaving, you know what I mean? They was saying, damn, he still got more in the tank. Damn, he leaving on the high note. He still like to fight at an elite level. So maybe he still felt like that deep down too. So I hope that's the case, and I hope he fully motivated and committed to coming back and making some of these quote unquote biggest fights that they've been talking about.
Wants to put himself in these kind of situations, especially during comebacks. Right? He wants the biggest. He don't want to take no warm up, this and that. Right? But you really got to question how you perform. I don't care how much you've been in that gym sparring, how much you think you're ready. That kind of fight deserves the right kind of comeback, right? So he has to just be careful. But at the same time, like I said, with Tszyu, he's taken enough punishment. He's been knocked out. He's been beat up. He's been cut along on his way to victories. He's been in some wars, right? And so I think it's a good matchup, but both fighters are going to get beat up a little bit. My question is, how is Errol going to come out of this? Is he going to look the way he used to? Well, that's going to be a no for me. But at the same time, it's not hard. He was a come forward puncher, bruiser. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he can still do that. But the punches that he has to endure, I wonder how he'll absorb those. And, we'll see by the final bell.
Do you feel like something about this fight, I guess, can favor Tszyu? Because I know that a lot of people are fans of Errol Spence, and I know that losing to Terrence Crawford, it's like when Canelo lost to Floyd, right? Like, it's almost like whatever in hindsight now. So, but is there something around this fight that kind of looms Danny Green, Roy Jones Jr., right? Where Roy Jones was getting ready to to fight Bernard Hopkins in a rematch. He goes over to Australia. He fights a very physically strong guy, essentially moving up weight. And then right away, because, Danny Green was not going to wait for him to see if he can feel out the round, jumped right on him and got him out instantly. I can feel something like that potentially maybe happening. Is that a sign where this could be one of those catastrophic moments for Errol Spence fans to say, man, dude?
Yeah, man, it do become like a drug. Yeah? Even the praise, the adulation that they get, the adrenaline rush, that thrill, walking up them steps, fighting. It'd be a lot. Like if dudes be having a tough time sometimes finding something better to do than what they've been one of the best at all their life, right? So I could understand why it could be difficult fully giving it up. But you see, even after 3 years, Errol Spence said, I'm back.
I didn't really need to see that. Do you feel that this can happen? Or no,
I
it's
don't
just Errol
feel,
just
I don't,
gonna just
yeah. I feel that again. I feel the punishment happening. Could it be soon? Absolutely. And then, just like Roy, he might not see this in his head, but his brain remembers the kind of punishment he took. So when he get in there and he take them shots, whether he thinks he's ready for it or not, his brain, his screening might not be. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is hope for the best, man. But there's nothing special, in regards to his skill set, right? Again, he's just a kung fu fighter, and he's decent. And what he does is he's a decent boxer, But he is. This could be potentially dangerous. Again, it's 50-50, man. This could be Tim Tszyu's fight. His come.
Man, well, y'all agree, man? Errol Spence just a decent boxer. Nothing special about his style. He just come forward.
Back, you know what I'm saying? Putting him back on the map. And this could be Errol Spence's comeback, put him back on the map. But a loss of both of these boys, even a close fight or the wrong fight, tell us what we need to know about Spence. It might be time for him to hang it up, man. He should have been comfortable with hanging it up right now. He didn't need a win, or he doesn't need a win to sell off into the sunset. You did it all. You know what I'm saying? I think I had a great career, and I'm nowhere near what this man did in his career. You know what I'm saying? So some fighters just got to learn how to come to terms with that, but you can only hope for the best.
with this win, I know the goal is to fight.
Interesting, man. I mean, look, I get it because, I ain't tripping on what he's saying. It just was an interesting conversation in the way he phrased what he was saying. I think anytime you're able to be successful at something as consistently as be as dominant in spots the way Errol Spence was, I think in that regard it makes you special, right? I think the less special it looks, but the more you're able to win, I think makes it special in that regard, right? So maybe looking at it, even being in front of it, and, maybe from the outside looking in, man, that's not nothing special what he do. But I think the fact that he's able to do these things consistently at a high enough level to the point where it's made him one of the most accomplished and fan favorites in boxing, I think that makes Errol Spence special in his own regard. I think the fact that he's able to come back after 3 years and people still want to see him, I think it's because he's been special. And I think it's been more than just the X's and O's. I think it's been the complete package. I think he's been very likable, approachable. He's been a fan favorite. People is always rock with Errol Spence. Everybody got their detractors and their haters, but I think the love is always outshined the hate for Errol Spence, for real, for real. And I think that a lot of that is to do with how he fought these fights, when he fought them, who he beat, how he beat them, and the consistency he displayed through constantly being a winner. You know what I'm saying? And then his only loss being to the absolute best fighter in the world, to me, at the time, in Terrence Crawford. So just is what it is. But let's keep rolling, man. That's just me. So I see it a bit different, but I understand what Dre Dirrell is saying. But I feel like Earl's consistency and his success and his ability to sell and be likable and be accepted and wanted by the people made him special. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to the homie Z. You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. He said it kind of
Fight
pissed
like a
me off.
Fedor or a Xander Boots
Eric,
winner.
what's good,
And I know
homie?
that
How you
people are
feeling?
probably favoring Boots because he's what they felt for a while was the boogeyman to some fighters. He's athletically freaky, or if Xander happens to pull this off, you're talking about a guy that's coming off a phenomenal, regardless of who wins that fight. And then, like I said, Fedor. I mean, people feel like he's arguably the best
Yeah.
154 pounder. So, with this win, either or, and I know it depends on how they look. Would this fight get them ready for a Boot Xander winner or Fedor, or is that a little too much?
Yeah. That's gonna depend too, man. That's really gonna depend. You know, if Boots wins this fight, then it's gonna be toughness that's gonna break his skill set, right? You got to get on this case to take him out of his element and in turn punish him. You know, that's possible because I don't know how great he is until he gets in there with somebody that's great, right? And so I can look forward to that fight. I would leave. Fedor alone because
Fedor?
whether you win or lose, that's going to be a war, and you're going to take a lot of punishment from a fighter like Fedor. Man, he's going to put himself in danger, but he's going to cause a lot of danger in doing so. And then Xander, man, he's a good boxer, man, as well, and he can go, he can brawl as well. So you know that'd be a good fight. I don't know who's going to win between him and Boots. I don't have a dog picked in that fight. You know, I would love to see Boots pull it off though, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, he this is going to be a semi-war because he's been off for so long, you know, and then he fights somebody like Xander Zayas, who's just as determined, hungry, and ready as him, you know. And then, but it's preparing you for another war. It all depends on how you took this fight. If you win, that could be the curse to the next setup, you know, and you got the wrong fight in this next setup, then
X was
you was
good.
better off staying gone. Even the win against Tim
Right.
Tszyu didn't mean nothing when ultimately you stepped in and had to take another, you know what I'm saying, punishment. Not saying he will at all, but that could very well be the case, man.
Do you think then that maybe the safest bet would then be if Earl wins that him and Jermall Charlo, because I know they went back and forth a little bit, and
Right.
Jermall hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's is that I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you had like a stablemate or someone in the amateurs you were close to,
Mhm.
and then you just had to fight this guy, and it wasn't even just like I have to fight. It's more of like I don't like this dude anymore. He's always been kind of like has that ever happened? And if not, like what does
No.
that kind of look like from afar then? Because you've been around guys that had that type of
Yeah.
relationship and then want to fight. Because Spence and Mel, they look like it might happen.
Shout out to my guy, Everything Boxing. Yeah, I wasn't rocking with this take either, Everything Boxing. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Right. They both got enough animosity. But as far as me in my case, man, you know me and Andre Ward's situation, and we still talking about sparring, and the fans still want to know if we gonna do that.
Yeah,
Like, but I like him. You know what I'm
I got
saying?
a video coming up with Bernie. I believe he was it Bernie? I think he was. No, not pardon me. It wasn't Bernie. I think it was Brian Norman Sr. saying that Xander gonna make Boots look regular.
And he done learned to like me. He understands who I am now that we had these conversations off of, you know, being boxers, being retired. You know, but where was I going? Where was I going? What we talking about
We're
here?
talking about Spence and Mel. Like it's
Oh yeah,
like
so yeah, so when you look at Spencer Mel, man, it's just so much animosity there. Mel, he's been dealing with. It seems like he just in a frenzy all of the time. Ever since that Canelo fight happened, he's been in a frenzy. Every time you see his face, it's turned. You know what I'm saying? I watched his interview, the last interview he did. I can't remember who it was with, but all I remember is this being mentally. Watch this, 100%. 100%. After watching Jermell's interview with, it might have been
it
the
might have been
ball headed
Najee
guy. Yeah, no, the
or
ball headed guy. The ball headed guy.
Brian Custard.
Yeah, Brian Custer. It was Brian Custer. After that interview, the last I say 7-8 minutes, I was frustrated. My mind was scrambled. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm tired of looking at this dude because his aura was frying me, man. He was just looking so angry, just so perturbed. He was bothered, right? And you can tell he was just, you know, he was saying he's loving his life, but he hated his situation, right? And it was things he wanted to bring up but didn't, or probably couldn't, you know, or felt it was wrong to have to do so. And I won't go into that. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, his animosity put him in this situation. You know what I'm saying? He's not fighting. He's a guy you got to sit off to the side and let him figure it out on his own, man, because he's gonna feel the way he feel. I don't know what to think about dude, man. He crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. He a little too nutty for me, man. He got too much animosity, dog. And you can't have that after performance with Canelo. That
But
performance
do
with
you,
Canelo. You can't.
but do you think that comes with that being a undisputed champion?
He said Mel a little too nutty for him. He said Mel too nutty.
Or like
Yeah.
the last, they always say like
Beautiful.
it's
Beautiful.
like as good as your last
Like that.
performance.
I love that.
And do you think that because of that, it doesn't truly represent, his body of work? And I know that, Canelo losing to Crawford, he probably wants
Yeah.
to get like a title again,
Yeah.
become a champion. Earl going out like that against Crawford, he wants to come back. So at a point, do you think that that's where the frustration might be? Because I really do honestly think when he was undisputed, he looked happy. He looked great and
Yeah.
everything about it. And I know that people are even talking about Broner. He's doing the kick stuff and stuff like that. Is there
Mhm.
is it really hard because when you retired, life after boxing, can
Right.
that be a point where it's self-destructive because you're not boxing and
Mhm.
you need boxing,
Mhm.
and is that a little bit of that what we're seeing like Broner and some of these guys out there?
That's what it is, man. The transition is the hardest thing to make in this life. It's hard. It's hard to stop being who you've been to potentially become who you supposed to be. It's new phases in life, right? And some phases are dramatic. That's a dramatic phase. The boxing career you've been in, you got all your glory. And this man, undisputed world champion. What does he have? One loss. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I guess
Two. He got
Canelo
two.
for
He got
jumping up
two.
and
Yeah.
no, only
Yeah.
one.
For
He had
two.
a draw, but and
Okay. So Jermall lost to
so Jamal's never had a loss, and Jamal only
okay, that's
lost.
him. That's him. Yeah,
Yeah,
so Jamel lost to my
no,
boy from
that's it.
Detroit, my God, man.
Tony
Oh, you're right.
Harrison.
I'm tripping. That take
Yeah.
all that back. You're
Tony
right. You're
Harrison.
right. I'm
Yeah, I'm
the hammer.
high.
That's why you. That's why you
Yeah.
Andre, man. I'm tripping. I
Yeah.
forgot. Shout out to Tony. He did beat him. You're right.
Yeah, Tony
God, yeah,
Harrison.
he
Yeah, so
did.
he got a loss to Tony Harrison and Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He avenged that loss to Tony Harrison.
He got
So
the
that put him
draw
right
with
back where he
Toscano.
was. He don't believe he lost that fight to Tony Harrison. Put him right back where he was. And the fight with Canelo is self-explanatory, man. You was too small. You wasn't ready, so you shouldn't have been in there, right? So if he gotta be the fighter he was in this weight class, then he feel like he can do that. If he's so accomplished, being undisputed, you know what I'm saying, undefeated before these fights, and still a relevant problem in this game, then why do I have to let it go? So a lot of animosity is built through that, right? I didn't want to stop, and the best option for me was to put it down, right? And that's just for some reason that makes sense and some that don't. You know what I'm saying? But for him, man, he's glorified. He's tattooed in the history books. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like now I got to give it up. Dre told me one time, he was like, "Man, listen, even though I accomplished more than you, Dre, like, and I still feel like I should have done more. I done more." So we all stuck with that, just like Roy Jones saying, you never truly retire, man. Look how he had to retire, not getting the opportunities he wanted. So that's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Shout out to Andre Dirrell and Ron Goodall from Fight Hype. That was a cool sit down from them guys. But yeah, man, he was saying he was giving saying how Earl could end up like a Roy Jones, and he might not be able to see it the same way Roy wasn't able to see it. And look, that's always a possibility. And I ain't gonna say 100% tripping, because look, he got reservations. Like Errol Spence said, people should have their reservations, right? He understand it, but sound like you counting Errol Spence out. I ain't counting him out. Said he ain't special. He just come forward and he a decent boxer. It sounded that I thought that was Earl. It didn't sound like he was talking about Tszyu. It sounded like he was referring to Earl. I think that style has got him very far, and him and Tim got some similarities. They're not going to be hard to find each other in the ring. I think a healthy Errol Spence, dialed in Errol Spence beats Tszyu, especially a Tszyu that's been knocked out multiple times and lost, at least 3 times now. What is he, 27-3? Been stopped twice, once by Bakram and once in Fundora rematch. So, and then in his last fight, it was a tough out. You know what I'm saying? He got cut over under the left eye. So he get touched in every single fight. Errol Spence, healthy, committed, dialed in, locked in, I think could beat Tszyu in a tough fight, because Tim is tough, but he's taking some damage, and I don't quite think he's exactly the same fighter that he was, before taking them losses and that damage, before those knockouts, obviously. I think he, a bit compromised as well. So some of the same questions people feel like they got for Errol, I feel like I got them for Tszyu too. I think it's fair on both sides. So we're going to find out, but I got these little short interviews from both Tszyu and Errol Spence. They was being interviewed by Sean Porter, and I don't believe y'all seen these. So it's a good follow up to the Andre Dirrell conversation where he was having with about Errol Spence. It's good to hear from the guy himself.
Biggest of names, he cool, but he's not the biggest of names, and he's the biggest names in Australia. You know what I'm saying?
Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr. live and exclusive on Main Event, July 26th, and I'm here right now with one half of the main event, Errol Spence Jr. Question not just from me, but from the world, specifically Australia. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. Been spending a lot of time with my.
And real quick, everything boxing, I agree, bro. And I think, and you know what? I think that about him, ETB and Ronnie Shields. I think that's why I think Ronnie Shields is a good match and a good fit for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he would be saying the things about Earl if he didn't believe it. And I don't think Earl would be coming back if he didn't believe he was good, right? Feel like he was straight. So I think people just have a tough time understanding that sometimes you can need that time with your family, man. Like, you miss a lot of that time with your family, beating your body up, not ever being to really live life. And maybe he just wanted a chance to do that. And now that he did, his body feel better. He could be ready to return. And shout out to my guy, OP. Was good with his family.
My family and ready to get back in it.
Look, he talking about his family already. Seconds into this, he talking about his family.
We haven't seen you.
You get me? Seconds into this, they act like, and again, the grind is what people don't get, the difference between boxers and most of these other sports, these combat sports. They don't have seasons. They fight. You get what I'm saying? They fighting and training year round, and that's a lot of time away from your family that you create, and all that money you make. You never get a chance to enjoy it. And people think you're supposed to just be a robot and want to do this shit forever without ever really taking a break. You're talking about a guy got thrown from a damn car, got his face all broken up, teeth all broke up. You get what I'm saying? Torn retinas and shit. Like, bro, you don't think this dude needed some time off? Like, and then he had the nerve to come back and fight Danny Garcia. Like, I don't think people get it. That's why I really rock with this dude. And I swear, if he don't do nothing else, I hope he beat Tszyu convincingly. I hope he stop him. I really do, so people can shut the hell up.
In the ring, we've seen a little bit of stuff come up in terms of you training. Yeah. How have you been spending your time since you haven't been in the ring? Tell us a little bit about Errol Spence since we've seen him last.
I definitely been training, but the pure focus has been on my family, just enjoying life, traveling, enjoying the spoils of the rewards of me winning world championships and being successful in boxing. So I just wanted to sit back.
First thing he talking about is his family. People got to shut up. These dudes are not robots. They're not superheroes. They get hurt. They get beat up. They get tired. Their bodies get tired. They get fatigued. They need breaks. They mentally, emotionally, you get what I'm saying? Physically. Damn, boxing is one of the most, I think, sports in general, just training, especially to be a world. And then think about how long he been fighting at a world-class level or a high level. You get what I'm saying? That shit is grueling. Think about the training camps. All that shit you do to yourself and your body. Like, people don't get it. Shit is different, man. So I hope all that time off help him be rejuvenated. I hope he walk on Tszyu. I swear I do. I know it's wishful thinking. I hope he make it look good, too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to OP. What's good, Samuel? Don Roy in the building. What's good? Yeah. Nah, he ain't
back
exposed.
and
No, he just be chatting.
enjoy my loved ones and just give them a great time and give them my full attention. So just developing memories, and I'm excited to be back. I have been in the gym in Sprinkles probably 3 times a week. I go to the gym when I'm out of town or when I'm traveling on vacation. I make sure I work out. So if you've seen my Instagram, you know that I'm always staying ready, staying in shape.
Look at him,
My abs
staying
do
ready.
show. So it hasn't been just a
704 was
total
good,
time
homie.
off. Like I also
And I hope y'all peep with Sean Porter interviewing him. I think that's dope.
been training. It's a way of life, and I also enjoy being in the ring, being at the gym, talking to the little kids and working out with them too. So that's some things that I do at my time off.
Were there ever any thoughts of retirement?
Definitely thoughts of retirement, but I feel that long layoff. I feel definitely helped me physically, definitely helped me mentally, and I'm ready to show everybody what I got left. Because I'm sure it's a lot of doubters and people, saying different things and saying, oh, he'll be a shell of himself or he can't come back. Well, they always say that during the eye injury, they say the same thing. Car crash, they say the same thing. And they're going to continue saying the same thing, and they just added fuel to my fire.
One more thing about the layoff, right? Sometimes too much time. Sometimes it's too much time. And
yeah.
What makes you feel like you didn't take too much time off?
Because Joseph, you're in the wrong chat, man.
I was also active as far as playing soccer, playing soccer, and learning soccer. Going to the gym. Running around, just doing stuff, just being active, and a lot of the vices that I had in the past. I don't drink anymore, so just a lot of stuff that was slowing me down. It's not anymore. It's not being a vice. I'm more with my family. If I'm not with my family, I'm probably training somewhere, or I'm probably traveling and seeing the world.
I played basketball with you. I know you played football growing up.
Yeah.
What made you choose to pick up soccer?
My kids.
Oh, okay.
All 3 of my kids play soccer. My 2 daughters been playing since they was like 5 and 4 years old. My son, he's 5 right now. He play. My girls play year round. They play club soccer, and I just wanted to learn the sport. I don't want to be out there, yelling and telling them to do this and do that, and I don't know anything about the sport.
Right.
So I just
it's all good. Dean, my guy. What's good, Joseph? Shout out to my guy.
Out there, work 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, and just learning the different styles and techniques, and it also was helping me on my footwork and balance and everything too. So. It was 2 things that I feel like was going right because I was learning soccer, which I like a lot.
Right.
And I was working on like my balance, footwork, foot movements, and things like that.
Right. You get back.
So you see, his biggest focus has been family, trying to enjoy life. It seemed like just decompressing, taking time off away from boxing, but while maintaining yourself in great physical shape, as he said, still doing little things to help with balance. Remember, that's one of the big criticisms that people had for him. They said his balance looked a little shaky. His balance looked off, right? Different things like that. So, I mean, just to hear that he doing anything that could try to help that just tells you what kind of fighter he is, man. You ain't too good to try to fix the issue, right? Or try to improve in a certain area, man. I got faith in him, man. You know what I mean? Know he going to put the work in. I think he with the right kind of trainer. And I think he got a tough fight, but a respectable fight and a great win if he can go out there and get the right kind of win. You know what I mean? For sure. Kyle, cooler blessings, family. How you feeling, bro? He said that I missed the Duck Nello talk. Oh, Duckchenko. Yeah. We was cooking on Lomas.
Back in it. Derek James is out. Ronnie Shields is in. What prompted you to go to Ronnie Shields?
I mean, I definitely liked his past work, especially with Jermall. You know, he had likes the Van Holyfield and guys like that. But you know, he incorporates the jab. He incorporate more head movement, and you know, no knock to Derek, but I feel like he took me as far as he could take me. Because if you study fights, if you look at myself in the amateurs and you look at me when I first started professional, what can you truly say that changed about me when I got older? When I jumped Ronnie, it feel like it's just brand new. Like I'm brand new
Louis,
at
what's
the
good,
gym.
Brody? How
Like
you
I'm
feeling?
just learning different things, working on different things, and I felt like.
Man, do you hear how real he is? Said, yo, he felt like Derek took him as far as he can go. He said, like, if you could look at me all the way through the years from when I was amateur, he's like that to now, when I first started to now, like, everything is the same. Rhythm's still the same. Like, what really changed about me? So it's like, I get it. It's like, all right, this shit worked until it didn't. And now that I see it, I'm able to assess it, see it for what it is, and say, like, look, I think it was time to make a change now. We went as far as we could go. That's some real shit. And that's not throwing them under the bus. I think that's just a real observation. And that's one way that I think he could potentially get better, because he seemed like he got a realistic understanding of where he stood, right? You just don't hear fighters be that brutally honest. And I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Out of all the fighters that got these nicknames and different stuff like that, his being the truth, he just couldn't have a better nickname. That couldn't have been given to a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? Anybody different, like that shit is some real shit to say. Shit always been the same. Like, look, it was time for me to try to evolve. And with Ronnie, he feel like he learning. Now I hope that he's able to apply these things and we're able to see these little tweaks and stuff. But I'm here for it, man. At least he's mentally conscious and aware of what needs changing. How much he's able to change at this point remains to be seen, but at least he's able to identify that change is needed.
I felt like I needed it. I felt like, a lot of fighters, they try to be, too loyal, and then you try to stick it out with a person, and you should leave that person, but you just, I'm gonna stay with him, be loyal to him, this and that. But things happen for a reason. Now we're Ronnie, and I feel like he's gonna show that I got way better and I definitely improved.
You feel like there's been evolution already since you've been with Ronnie? Yeah. Any thoughts of going to Kenny Porter? No, I'm just playing. To that point, you have Tszyu in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, kind of take us through the process of making this fight happen with Tszyu, and also on top of that, it happening in Australia.
I mean, it was an easy process. Like, I was like, I want to fight Tszyu. I mean, it was more. I say more of the process was, negotiating how much I'm gonna get. So say to anything, but it was easy for me. I was like, I want to fight Tszyu. I'll fight Tszyu in Australia, because they wanted it. They were trying to get me to fight at maybe Cowboy Stadium or in America, but I was like, nah, I'd rather have my first fight back, somewhere else. And it came up Tszyu, and I was like, I definitely take that fight.
After the
see that right there? You listen and you get answers. So I seen people going on calling in shows and saying, "Oh, the fight being in Australia shows that the PBC don't got no confidence in Errol Spence. Nah, they ain't willing to invest in him, because if they did, it would have been in Dallas and blah 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 blah." Shut up. Y'all always pushing narratives, yo. Y'all will say that stuff y'all will just pull it out of thin air. You won't get that information from nowhere. You'll just say it and push it. You won't just say, in my opinion. Y'all just say it like it's a fact. Like, yeah, man, they ain't got no faith in him. They ain't got no confidence. He just said they was trying to have him have his comeback fight in Dallas, Cowboys Stadium. He said, nah, he want to have his fight somewhere else. And then they said Tszyu. He said he'd definitely do it over there in Australia at that. Come on, man. Don't get no realer than that. You could say what you want. You could try to go overanalyze. Oh, he would say that. He's lying. I'm not trying to hear it. Not trying to hear it. This man, it ain't like he ain't go over there to, what was that, Sheffield, England, and beat Kell Brook in his backyard. You know what I mean? That's how he won his first world title. So I don't want to hear it, man. The dude been willing to challenge himself. He been telling us no tune-ups. He been told us he ain't fighting Keith Thurman, and he been keeping it a stat. You know what I mean? With all this stuff. So I believe him. I do. Hit that like button, y'all. Support the grind. Let's keep going. Frequent was good with it. And argue with, I'm telling you, argue like it's a fact. Yeah, they don't have any faith in him. Hey, that's why they're sending him over there to Australia, because shut up, man. And Errol, like, man, I'm with that. That's what I want to do.
Car accident, you were saying I'm not coming back against easy touches. That's like always been a part of who you are, is fighting the best.
Yeah.
And upon coming back, was this a no-brainer that at this point Tszyu is the best that you can get?
Shout out to my dog CJ Rich. Appreciate you, bro. How you feeling?
I mean, he wasn't the best that I could get, but I'm not crazy, but I bought nothing. So, I was looking at Fundora. I'm looking at top names. Like, I fight him. Like, cause I'm a type of guy, I really don't believe in ring rust. If I look good in the gym for 9-10 weeks, why I can't look good in the ring, in the fight? Like, what makes the difference? That's a mental thing. Yeah.
Man, I can't argue with that. He been saying that constantly too. He don't believe in the ring rust. He said if you need more than 8 to 10 weeks of training camp to get right, then something else is wrong. So, like, I feel him. If I can't look good for these 8-10 weeks in camp and go out there and perform, then you get what I'm saying? It is a mental thing. I think it's just all how you approach it.
There are a lot of people like it's like guys, this, man, they good as hell in sparring and practice and that, but when the lights turn on, they fold. And I just feel like I'm different. I feel like I look better outside. I look better in the ring and not in the gym. I look good in the gym, but fight night, I look, it comes out. Yeah. And I just feel like that come fight night, I'm going to show everybody that, ring rust is not a thing. It's more of a mental thing more than anything. And that's what people can't get over, and that's why they need a tune-up fight to get over that mental hump. It's not a thing for me. Yeah. Ring rust is not a thing at all.
Right. We as fighters, we always looking at the best. We're looking at the biggest. And sometimes it takes that manager or that person next to us saying, you know what, hey, let's slow it down and let's start right here. You wanted the biggest of names, and we see now that you have Tszyu, not saying that he's not the biggest of names, but now you have Tszyu. After going away from what you wanted and now you got Tszyu, do you look at this and say, this is the best fight for me right now?
Definitely. I feel like the styles mesh up very well, and you ain't got to retract on that. You said you know what you said. Tim is the biggest of names. He cool, but he's not the biggest of names. And
for main event, he's the biggest of names.
He's the biggest names in Australia. You know what I'm saying?
So he's a pretty good name in Australia. He is, though. Tim the man over there in the down under, man. They rock with Big Timmy Zoo over there. That's the soul snatcher over there. That's big Zoo over there. You know what I'm saying? In Australia, the down under.
And let's move into Tszyu. Like, give me a breakdown on Tszyu as a fighter.
I feel like he's a lot of heart. He's a lot of heart, and I think that's why he switched back. He had the Cuban coach, and I feel like that wasn't gonna work out well for him because, I mean, he can't learn that type of style that the Cuban coach is teaching. That's more cultural, more rhythm and things like that, and things that I feel like he don't have. He's a more of a kung fu fighter, hard, and I feel like he's pretty good. He's good. He beat Terrell Goucher. He beat Tony Harrison. I think he beat them on the back end of their career, but I feel like this supposed to be his coming out party against me, so I'm super excited.
What are you looking forward to in terms of being in Australia? Going into his backyard, you did that with Kell Brook back in the day. Kind of, take me through what you expect this Australian boxing culture to respond to Errol Spence Jr.
Man, I really don't care. I mean, I'm excited. I dream about stuff like this, man. You know, it kind of give me chills now coming out and everybody booing. They get me more pumped up than anything. People booing, throwing stuff, you know, angry. That really takes the nervousness out of me. Like, I'm not nervous anymore. Like, people booing and saying things and yelling and screaming. That's like the movies to watch as
Umbilical
kids,
cord is
old Spark
diabolical,
movies
pal.
and stuff. Like, you going into, you know, you going to war. So, you know, it gives me a high. I'm definitely happy, and I'm excited to come out and just you know get the fans' negative reactions and feed off of it.
July 26th, you got Tszyu. Take me through the fight. What do you expect that fight to look like?
Man, I really don't know. All I know is he's definitely gonna get punched on.
He's definitely gonna get punched on.
I mean, I can't tell you how the fight gonna play out.
Well, let me hear it then. I'll go back just a little bit.
He said he gonna get punched on. Let's go, EJ. Said he definitely gonna get punched on. I don't know how the fight gonna go, but he gonna be getting punched
Got
on. I
Ronnie
know
Shields
that.
now. He's
Yeah.
adding to
Errol
your game.
Spence, yeah,
I know
man,
you, so
I
I know
like
you're
that.
gonna be able to pick
Dark
up whatever it is he wants to give you
Yeah.
Dark
going
truth.
into the ring against Tszyu. People know Errol Spence to be this stalking, plotting southpaw that's gonna bang to the body and rip the head, and the fight gonna last as long as it lasts. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be some different wrinkles? Are we gonna get a build up now from you, or are we starting a little? Are we gonna measure this? Like, kind of take me through
I
what
mean,
you think.
it's definitely gonna last as long as it lasts. You know, that definitely
I ain't
my
getting away
mentality.
from that.
You know, like I said all the time, I don't get paid for overtime.
Yeah.
So it's definitely
He
gonna
said it's gonna last as long as it lasts.
last as long as it lasts.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as I can get out the ring, get to my family, and throw the peace signs, head out, I'm definitely gonna do that. So,
He said as soon as I can make it back to my family, chuck up the peace sign, head out. I'm definitely gonna do that. Yeah, I feel that. Tell you what up.
I mean, it's gonna be different wrinkles in it, but you know, the mentality gonna stay the same.
If you can, send a message to Australia. Send a message to Main Event. Tell them who you are and what to expect from you July 26th.
July 26th, you can expect all out war. Me, I think a one-sided fight. I think he's gonna give it everything that he has, but I'm definitely gonna put on a great show and show the fans of Australia, show the world that Errol the True Spence is back, and y'all will respect me after this fight, and Tim will respect you too.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was EJ. I like hearing from Errol Spence, man. Like what he had to say. Look, he ready. He been working. He been spending time with the family, but staying in shape. Got that itch. You know, he had his thoughts about retirement and different things, man. What fighter wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Shit, should I sit back and enjoy this time with my family? Because I know it was just as hard as it be to stay away from your family. When you get back, I know it's just as hard to start leaving them again. So, and it's a whole nother sacrifice all over again. So for him to be willing to fully commit himself back to this sport says speak volumes, man. He could have easily chucked the deuce and called it a career, and nobody would have looked at him no different. But here he is coming back to do it again, keeping his word, no tune-up, going after Tszyu over there in his backyard in Australia. You got to respect it, man. Enzo, his trainer is Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields training him and Brian Norman Jr. You know, Brian Norman Jr. fight this weekend. And this is Tszyu's.
He got me, bro. Now he got me pissed off. Errol.
Oh, what happened?
No, I went to shake his hand and he didn't even touch it. Now I'm like, in your head. You're just like...
Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr. July 26th, right here on Main Event exclusively. Make sure you order it. I am here with the other side of the Main Event, who just saw his opponent, and apparently your opponent didn't have much love to show you. Are you just used to expect respect? Like, kind of, that moment, you know?
Yeah, I think
Earl curve game was on 1,000. Curved the shit out of him.
Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr. July 26th, right here on Main Event exclusively. Make sure you order it. I am here with the other side of the main event, who just saw his opponent, and apparently your opponent didn't have much love to show you. Are you just
Told y'all that left eye still healing from that cut, yo. I told you.
used to respect?
Don't be surprised if it
respect,
opened back up.
That moment, you know?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I was always brought up to show some sort of respect.
Yeah.
To your opponent.
Yeah.
But that's all right. It is how it is.
Yeah.
And, doesn't change anything.
Are you surprised he didn't shake your hand?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. But it's all right. It's
Now
all
you're
right.
mad
Now-
at yourself. You're
now-
not even mad at him. You're
now-
mad at yourself.
No, now I see how it is, you know?
Are you mad at him or are you mad at yourself?
No, I'm always...
You're just mad at
I'm
the
all
moment.
right. I'm all right, you
Yeah.
know? Like, that's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I guess we're all a bit different.
Let's go back a little bit. Let's kind of get out of that energy. I was a little surprised. I've never really seen you like this before. You just had a fight April 5th, if not mistaken, 10-round fight. Fight just before that was in December. How important is it for you to stay busy even after, you know, the last like maybe 2 years that you've had?
Yeah, I think it's important, you know? Keep the wheels in motion. Keep them flowing. Keep learning new things. I went over to Miami for 2 camps and learned new things. Worked a lot on just boxing, you know, not just trying to go in there and be aggressive, but just learn a bit of the art of it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do, and yeah, now we're on to the next one.
And on to the next one, you're with Jeff Finnick now instead of the trainer that you had out in Miami. Is this a situation where Miami didn't work out, or is this a situation where you got what you needed and now you're moving back, you're moving on?
No, technically just being at home. I think that was a big part, just being at home, you know. Spent so many months just away, so it felt like it was sort of affecting me to a certain extent, you know.
Yeah.
Just being comfortable at home, and then that's why I came to Jeff, and I was like, he's the guy that makes me comfortable. So yeah, so it's a legend in the sport.
And I'm glad I get to have this conversation with you. No ill feelings, nothing went wrong with Miami.
No.
But look, you had 2 fights with the guy, and you know you're moving back to Jeff Finnick and moving on to Jeff Finnick. There's so many different narratives that could come up about that. So I'm actually glad that I get to ask you this for myself. That it wasn't, I couldn't figure it out. They were doing things I didn't like. It was just being at home. I don't want to be this far away.
Yeah.
This long.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable.
Like, you got to feel comfortable during camp, you know, and that was the main thing for me. Is just like being so far away is just not needed for me.
Yeah. There is a theory, and I want your perspective, that a fighter needs to go to camp, needs to be away from the family, needs to be away from the things that makes them happy, which I am in total disagreement of. And I think my dad had to learn that kind of like the hard way, for the sake of words. Do you feel it's important for you to separate yourself from the things that make you happy, or are you going to get it done the way you want to?
Yeah, look, I used to think that. You need to sacrifice this, you need to do this and this, you need to give up that. But I think you just got to be comfortable and happy where you are, and that becomes the best version of yourself, you know. So I don't feel like I need to go away from everyone.
Right.
Hide. I don't need to get into a hiding. I just need to be comfortable.
Yeah. You've worked with Jeff Finnick before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Like old times? Anything new?
We're coming in like that. Action.
What do you mean?
Action.
Yeah.
So he's one of the best inside fighters of all time. So there's a lot to learn from him in terms of that.
Yeah.
And this fight, stylistically, it's not going to be like me running and moving. I'm coming in, you know. I'm risking it all.
Yeah. Well, risking it all, you got Errol Spence Jr. Kind of take us through, not the business side, but like the perspective that you have of making this fight. Was this a fight that you called for, Errol called for? It's happening in Australia. Kind of take us through.
Yeah, I think both parties came to the party, and then I don't know. I was notified after my fight against Velasquez in December and then I accepted straight away. I wanted to get one more fight in before that. And then yeah, it's a real like for both of us. There's so much on the
George
line.
was good, homie.
And it both for both parties it leads to a big victory.
Yeah,
for both of
his
us,
face,
you know, so
he got
why
that cut
there's
in
so
his
much on the
last
line.
fight, Kyle.
Let's go back again real quick. You said that both parties
It
kind
was
of
from his last fight. He got cut under that left
This
eye.
fight is what we got. When you had the
We
fight in
don't know.
April, did
He
you already know
basically
that
fought
Errol
a,
Spence was
you know,
after
an
that
unknown
April
opponent.
fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was hard to focus again.
Yeah.
You always look at the next challenge, of course, but when you got a challenge that's like that in front of you after, it's hard to look straight at it.
Did anyone try to talk you out of having that April fight before this?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I sort of do everything my own way anyway.
I know. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, man. So it's interesting. They ain't stop him. I get it, staying active between this Errol Spence fight. You know, in hindsight, it's pretty smart. But, you know, when you end up getting cut, it's unfortunate. He did win the fight, beat the guy up or whatever. But, I mean, he was supposed to do that. You get what I'm saying? He's still a tough guy, but I do believe he's been tested. He's been took through the ringer a bit. And some of that wear and tear, I think, could show up in the fight. You know what I mean? They act like Errol Spence got more wear and tear inside the ring than you know, Tszyu, and he don't. So
Again,
I expect this
Errol
shit to
Spence
be a
Jr.
war of
Give me
sorts.
your thoughts on Errol. You know, he's been out of the game, been away from the game. It'll be about 3 years when you guys fight that he had his last fight.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I think 3 years is a long time,
Yeah.
especially at the sort of the peak years of your career.
Yeah.
A challenge that I'm willing to take with both hands, and I wouldn't be taking this fight if I knew I didn't win.
A lot can be said about getting in the ring with Errol Spence at this point in time. For you and yourself, what's your truth about getting in the ring with Errol right now?
I want to hurt him.
Yeah.
That's my mentality right now going into this fight, because I really want to do damage.
You feel like you're catching them at the best time?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm expecting the Errol Spence I was fighting.
Yeah.
Kell Brook back in the days, you know, that type of fighter, but we shall see. You know, that's the questions for him to be answered.
Errol has really never, his identity has never changed in the ring. He's always been this train, doesn't move fast, but this train that just keeps going forward. Your style is similar in a lot of ways. And working with Jeff Fennick, I can only imagine that it's going to be even more. Kind of take me through the stylistic matchup here and how the fight's going to look.
Yeah, I think he's like very monotone. But he's very good at that.
Yeah.
You know, and it drowns you.
Yeah.
He's got a very stiff jab, and the jab is very consistent. So I think that's probably going to be the hardest part. But yeah, this fight is going to be a relentless style for me. I'm looking to just bring the heat.
Yeah.
And let's see if he can match it.
Yeah. It sounds to me like, I mean, we got two trains on the same track. And you're good with that. And I've done this with you enough times. No, like you're actually mentally, you're good with that. You got no thoughts at all on like, you know, hey, maybe we should try moving around a little, stepping over. No. Yeah.
We're going straight in.
Yeah. This is you, right? But
Yeah, he said more tire decline, but you know, certain people I don't even check their news no more because they be on bullshit. But he said more tire decline, but look, I'll just use common sense. Morataya got a hometown title defense already in August. Like he been had it for a while. So how did anybody duck either one? How did anybody decline to fight the other one when he already had that fight lined up? You get what I'm saying? That shoots that right down. People just be making, I swear on everything, people just be making up their own news, adding names and shit to it. I'm telling you, it don't be no validity no more. It's crazy. That's why I just stopped listening to people. Because they cool with lying over and over and over again to the people. It's crazy.
is any of this like for the fans? Is any of this?
And I know for a
fight that
fact,
fans want
you
to
know, I'm not never gonna say no names because it's not that deep. Screw people, but I know for a fact that these dudes get solid information from the right people, and then they go remix the information on their channels. I know this for an absolute 1,000,000% fact. It's nasty work out here, y'all. One thing about me, I ain't gonna never sit up here and lie to y'all ever. You know what I'm saying? Sit up. It's just nasty work. Everybody in the building, hit that like button, sub to the channel, support the grind. Let's keep building, y'all. This is Tszyu. After we heard from Errol Spence, we're hearing from Tszyu. As they get closer to their showdown, I'm rooting for Errol Spence heavy. I know Tszyu gonna be tough, but I think he's beatable.
to see though? So that's what I'm gonna give him, or is this just that's how I'm gonna beat him?
Yeah, it's been a bit of both, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like stylistically, this is the fight that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
There's a fan-friendly type fight. Two big names in the sport, so I feel like it's one for the fans. But at the same time, for myself, this is the fight that I've always sort of dreamt about.
Yeah.
Always wanted.
Yeah.
Always been on my hit list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bit of both.
This one's always been on your hit list.
Yeah.
Dating back to how long would you say?
5 years ago.
About 5 years. We didn't get the fight against Keith Thurman, but Keith came over and he had that fight against Brock. Kind of took over. He took over Australia for that moment of time that he was there. The crowd was loving him. TV was loving him. You know, everywhere he went, people were loving him. Did you feel that at all?
Shout out to Foxy Brown for sending the game. Appreciate
on my
you.
turf.
Not really. I actually became a fan of Keith.
Yeah,
I
right.
was like, man, this guy's.
Yeah.
I love his personality. I thought he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He talks a bit of smack, but it's all fun.
Yeah.
And he played Brock really well.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it.
He played Brock. So the reason why I asked that is because you got now Errol Spence Jr. Raising his hand to come over to Australia to take you on. Do you feel it as if, you know, he's coming on your turf? And
Jermall was good. Yeah, them marks you see, or that mark you see up under Tim I, that was from the fight that he just had to stay busy for the Errol Spence fight. That was that tune-up, stay busy fight. He had ended up getting a cut under the left eye, and that's what y'all see still healing. So don't be surprised if that cut gets opened up and they fight. Scar tissue is a real thing. Not to mention he had that damn hole in his head a few fights back. Shit, like you just never know with Tszyu. He gonna get hit. He's hittable. He can be cut. We see that.
you know,
100%.
you must protect this house.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know,
You didn't feel like that when Keith was
No,
like,
it was a bit different.
I was like, yeah, you know, Keith,
People started to like him.
Yeah.
I was like, no, come on, Aussies.
Yeah, but with Errol, it's a little more serious. Obviously, you got Errol's in front of you now.
Yeah.
Keith wasn't exactly in front of you.
Yeah.
You got Errol. Any thoughts that he could come over and take over the house?
No.
Yeah.
No, I feel like this fight, the magnitude of it,
Yeah.
I think all the Aussies, this is for the Aussies.
Yeah.
And this is why I chose Jeff Fennick and bringing it all back home is because this is a fight for Australia.
How much you watch film?
A little bit.
You watching a little bit? Yeah. What about Jeff?
He
Do
watches
you know?
a lot.
Yeah. You guys get together and watch together?
We are going to.
Okay.
So we start camp as soon as we get back.
Nice. Take us through fight night. What do you think fight night's going to look like? If you could paint this perfect picture of how this fight goes.
I want to come in red hot. No feel out this time around. Just come in red hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go in and really just go for his head straight away.
That's what you want. Is that also what Jeff wants?
I don't know. I haven't
Talked about that
spoken to
yet.
him.
Okay, well, let's hope that that's what Jeff wants. That way, there's no, we don't see him,
Yeah.
Sean Porter's in the corner on fight night because Jeff, that's what you want.
Appreciate you, Queen. Yeah, the gifts. I appreciate the gift and appreciate the love in the super chat. Supporting, holding it down. Much love, much appreciation. Shout out to the Queen. Say I know what the prize is about, but I'll be listening. Keep working. I got you. Much love, much appreciation. Let's keep rolling, y'all.
Do you think that's the best way to go about? It sounds like, yeah.
Possibly, man. Possibly.
Yeah.
I want to. The 3 years that he's had off, you sort of just want to take him by surprise, you know, like, this is what we're in for, you know?
Yeah.
Remind him of the good old days.
Yeah. You look at the fight he had with Terrence Crawford, and obviously we saw Terrence Crawford handle him in ways that nobody has ever handled Errol Spence Jr., amateur or pro. You don't have a Terrence Crawford style, but did you see some deficiencies in Errol's game against Terrence that you hadn't seen before?
Yeah, of course, he was really exposed.
He not knocking him for losing to a guy like Terrence Crawford, because he see it like we see it. That's Terrence Crawford. He do that to everybody. So, you know, I'm not really judging him off that fight. And I know he probably gonna be anticipating the best version of Errol Spence, because the same way Errol gonna be anticipating the best version of him. That's the smart thing to do. But again, focus, healthy, and right. Errol Spence should win this fight to me. And if not, then maybe he should hang it up. And maybe that's what he'll do. But I'm rooting for him 1,000,000%. I want to see him step on. Respected fighter I ever seen in boxing, Errol Spence.
Invincibility.
Right.
It was Keith Thurman for a while. Then when Errol lost, it became Errol Spence.
And then that was 3 years ago, but he's been on your radar for about 5 years at least.
Yeah.
What were you seeing back then that made you feel like, man, I want to take this guy on?
Yeah, I just thought it was a mega fight.
Yeah.
Mega fight that I knew that he was going to come up in weight.
Yeah.
Honest, ever since he started talking smack on Twitter and saying that Harrison was going to beat me and this and this and this and just backing me out, calling me trash, I was like, you know what, I really want to get this guy.
That's dating way
I don't
back
want to, I'm not the guy that talks bad about people. It's not me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always sort of had this thing against Errol.
I had Errol do this, and please oblige me with the same. Look into that camera, give the Aussie fans a message, tell them what they can expect July 26th.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, and this one is for Australia.
I like it. July 26th, Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr. live and exclusive on Main Events. Make sure you check it out.
Okay. So now we got the hair from both fighters, and just at the request of my guy Cal, he don't want to see Duckchenko. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep rolling though. We got some more. One more thing though. We now that we got the hair from the fighters, both of the fighters, you know, Ronnie Shields is the new addition in all of this. He will be training 2 new fighters, not only Errol Spence Jr., but Brian Norman Jr. as well. He got 2 juniors he training. So just wanted to hear a short interview from him speaking, because he is training them. Maybe he can give us a little insight on what we can expect from Errol Spence. You know, I expect him to do his thing, man. Like I said, that he got to go out there and handle business. I know it's a lot of doubters and naysayers, but that's you know, yeah, at the request of my guy Cal, you know, because I'm a team player, man. He's like, man, tired of that damn Duckchenko. I'm like, I got you, my guy, I got you. But now we get to hear from Ronnie Shields, and I do got Ray Savage and Shock Up. Because I got some clips from them we going to get into. Y'all know how we do over here. You know what I mean? We just going to keep it rolling. Duckchenko.
Here with trainer extraordinaire Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, we're here to talk about the Spence-Tszyu fight. It's going to be a big fight. Spence coming back. Tszyu's trying to make his comeback after those defeats from Fundora and everything. What do either have to do to come out victorious and not just become crossroad challengers from this point on?
I mean, I don't know what Tszyu has to do, and I don't care what Tszyu has to do, because I'm with Spence. So.
I know.
Talk to him, Ronnie.
I think for Errol, you know, Errol just had to be Errol. You know, you got to get back to what got him to where he's supposed to be. You know, Errol. You know, he has 1 defeat, you know, and that's against Errol Crawford. But before then, people were avoiding him like the plague, you know, because, you know, he's just that good. So I think he just got to get himself back into shape and get himself positioned to where he can do things that he did before.
What have you seen from Errol on his way to this fight and coming back against Tszyu?
Well, you know, just being in the gym with him for, you know, we was in the gym for like 3-4 days together, and you know, everything's looking good. You know, he's feeling good, and he's trying to just recapture what he left.
Now, I've interviewed Robert Garcia, and I always ask his opinions on things and everything, and he said this is directly his opinion. I'm going to say it a little bit verbatim, but also at the same time paraphrasing. He says he feels that the reason why Spence went direct to a big fight against Tszyu and not took a tune-up fight was because he feels that maybe Spence doesn't have that much left in him. What do you think about that?
Well, what is a tune-up anyway? What is that? You know, I've been hearing, you've been hearing this. I've been in boxing, tune-ups. There's no such thing as a tune-up fight.
Fight is a fight.
You know, a fight is a fight. I mean, okay, if you say Tszyu took a tune-up his last fight, right?
Yeah.
Look what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, he got headbutted and he got cut.
Yeah. Nah, Ronnie make a great point. People be putting all this emphasis on tune-up fights, like those fights are just guaranteed wins, and we almost conditioned to think just because you're supposed to win means you will. Anything could happen in the fight, and you've seen it with Tszyu. He ended up getting butted and getting cut under the eye, and regardless of how that cut got there, he still got to deal with it, and he potentially faces going in the fight with Errol Spence with that cut not being as fully healed as what he might want, right? Because if we could see that being visible at weigh-ins and on fight night, you don't be surprised if it opened back up. So what Ronnie is saying is spot on. What is a tune-up? Like, yeah, every fight is a fight, bro, and you got to take it serious. And the minute you go out there just thinking, you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a tune-up. That's where you mess up at. You know what I mean? Taking a tough fight off rip means you don't have much left. You get what I'm saying, CJ? That ain't what that mean at all. And they tried to give him the fight in Dallas, and he was willing to take it somewhere else, which is dope, man. Errol Spence really, he's the epitome of betting on yourself, bro. I swear he is.
So, you know, he's lucky it didn't get worse to where it prolonged his career, so he couldn't even take this fight, you know. But, you know, it wasn't that bad, so he, you know, that's why he's able to take this fight. So, you know, it's no such thing as a tune-up fight.
How do you feel about Spence having to travel to Australia for this fight? Considering, you know, his name is the marquee. His name is first. We know how boxing works and everything, but he has to travel to Australia for this fight.
Well, you know, he agreed to do it. So, hey, I mean, so it is what it is.
Oh,
you know, there's got to be a reason why he agreed to do it. I haven't spoken to him about it. So he, you know, he don't mind going to Australia. So let's do it.
Let me change the subject on you because I know I've always talked to you after fights for upcoming bouts and everything like that. Huge 154-pound bout coming up next month. We have Jerron Boots Ennis versus the unified champion.
Real quick, that's another great point, Dante. Morrell was supposed to have had a tune-up. He ended up getting stopped. Jaime Munguia was supposed to be taking a light touch with Bruno Saras and end up getting stopped. Know what I'm saying? I think we got to start revisiting the way we assess what we think a tune-up is. Say, yeah, well, you fighting a guy that on paper you're supposed to beat. You just got to put the right context around it. You can't just throw out, you know, empty statements. This is a tune-up. He's supposed to win. Man, these guys be wanting to win too. Those be the dangerous fights because those guys be knowing full well they not expected to win. And that in a way motivates them, and they playing with house money. They literally go in these fights with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And you think people don't be wanting to change their lives? You think that dude, what's buddy name that just beat David Morrell? You think he didn't want to prove himself? He stopped that man in the corner on his feet, and it really got me rethinking what a damn tune-up is. I'm starting to think like, nah, man. I'm about to stop talking like that. I get it, the context around what a tune-up is supposed to be, but boxing is just too unpredictable, bro. Unless you just fighting the bottom of the barrel. But these guys be fighting dudes that want to win too, is what I'm saying. And you just can't look at a guy like that. Plant is to get me. Resendez was supposed to be you give me somebody that he's supposed to beat, and then he lost. And we seeing it more and more frequently now than ever, in my opinion. So it's just hard. Zach Chelly, appreciate you, bro. I could not remember his name. Zach Chelly, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it. I could not remember his name, bro, for nothing. But I will watch him again just because of how he approached that fight. You get what I'm saying? He was supposed to, all this supposed to, it's no supposed to's, there's no guarantees in boxing, is what I'm saying, on fight night in that ring. Yeah, it's expectations and yeah, it's favorites and underdogs, but it's no guarantees in boxing. It really ain't. Now, I like a good upset too. I like going with the underdog every now and again. Shit, Daniel Dubois was expected to lose. I had him winning and he won. So that's another fight. Daniel Dubois, people expected him to lose and he went out there and won. Wasn't no tune-up, but he was expected to lose, right? So just nothing is given in boxing. Nothing is for sure. You know what I'm saying? Upsets happen all the time. And like I said, more now in recent memory than ever before. I can't remember a time where I could remember this many upsets or like favorite guys not getting a nod. You get me? Guarantee nobody knows. Guarantee nobody knows in boxing. Shout out to my dog behind the hands, T. My guy, man. Yo, you just popped into my head too when I started talking about Ronnie Shields. He really did.
Xander Zayas, how do you see that fight going?
You know what? This is going to be a great fight. I mean, really and truly, it's going to be a great fight. Boots has all the skills in the world. He can fight orthodox or southpaw. But Xander can really fight. I mean, this guy is not world champion for nothing. He's a world champion for a reason. And, you know, and I know Boots is not going to take this lightly. But, you know, I give the edge to Boots just because of the guys he's fought already. But you can't close your eyes on Xander because this kid can really go. And, you know, if you catch him on a good night, he can upset Boots.
Talk to us about that because a lot of the people that I've spoken to have pretty much just picked Boots to win, dominate. What do you see in Xander Zayas that could actually trouble Boots Ennis?
Number one thing, right, is winning a world championship makes you 10 to 15% better fighter. Anyway, you know, he don't want to give that up. You know, so the training, everything is going to be different for this guy because he knows this is the biggest fight of his life right now. You know, there are other big fights out there, but this is the biggest fight of his career. So, and, you know, being champion, you want to keep that. So this kid is going to dig deep as he possibly could to do everything he can to win this fight. That makes Boots have to do the same because if he doesn't, you know, he's going to be in for a long night.
Let's talk a little bit more about Boots.
Tell him Zoom and one mixtape Boots. But I love Ronnie's breakdowns because more times than not, almost all the time, he don't really be having a dog in the race, so he can give a really honest assessment. And he's the epitome of what it means to give an unbiased assessment when he speaks on both sides. He tells you the things that, you know, can make Xander tough and dangerous for Boots and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But Boots, I think, is expected to win by a lot of people, but just not in an easy fight. But I'm right there with you, bro. You already know. The And One mixtape, what is it, volume 35, Zoom? Where we at? Where we going on, volume 35? Ronnie gave the edge to Boots because of who he's fought. People be trashing Boots because of that. Listen to Ronnie. Talk to him, my dog. I'm glad you popped in here when Ronnie came on the screen. He probably was already in the cut listening, though.
Boots, from a lot of people that I'm hearing, as I stated, a lot of people are picking him, but the reason why they're picking him is a couple of reasons. One, experience, as you said, the opponents that he's fought. Two, he is what most feel is the closest right now to a complete fighter.
I agree with that. He is probably, but
why is that? What is he showing you?
Just his skill set. I mean, and the guys he's beat some really good guys. So we have to look at all of that. But here's the thing, right? And this happens over and over and over again. Sometimes you start believing that you're invincible, and unless you keep grounded, then you don't know what's in the guy's head until he gets in that ring, and then you see what's going on. So, you know, so we just got to wait and see on this one. I mean, because, you know, Xander has nothing to lose. He has everything to gain, although he's the champion of the world. So it may sound ridiculous, but that's the way it is for him in this fight.
Go ahead.
But, you know, I just think that, you know, that Boots has to stay grounded and just keep doing things that got him to where he is now.
And the final thing a lot of people say about this fight is they're comparing it to Trinidad versus Vargas. Boots having the experience and Vargas being, and Zayas, like Vargas, being the younger fighter coming up, maybe biting off a little bit more than he could chew. I know you said Xander's a world champion, so is he biting off more than he could chew?
I don't think he is. I really don't think he's fighting off more than he could chew. You know, look, once you prove yourself as being a world champion, that's what you are. You know, nobody can take that away from you. So he's the champion of the world, and his job is to defend that.
And final question for me. And
yeah, I think Boots is just, not Boots. I think Xander is a bit more mature mentally than some of the fighters, a lot of the fighters that's at his age right now. And I think that could serve him well, you know, from an approach standpoint and how he handles the overall challenge. But I think ultimately for me, it comes down to who just going to be better, who has more in their bag. And I lean towards Boots in a good fight, though, because Xander gonna bring it, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie, man. I was the messenger when Boots asked Cass to spar in Philly. Ronnie wasn't with it at all. But look at the respect Ronnie got for Boots. Facts, man. And look at his fighters that continue to win. Somebody just came in here. Shout out to the Clean Foxy, man. She said something. I think that's the fight she was talking about when she mentioned Cats. You was talking about Casaracas. She was talking about his name. I think that was Casaracas she was talking about. Say Cats. I think she's talking about Cats. Yeah. That's my guy, man's right there too. Cats are rockets, man. You know. Let's get back to this.
Bring it full circle. Talking about Spence Tszyu. The winner of this bout, Spence versus Tszyu. Do you feel that they have, especially Spence on your end, do you feel he has a direct ticket after that fight if he beats Tszyu to Sebastian Fundora, or or do you think he has his eyes more on the winner of Boots versus Xander?
You know what? That's a question I don't know. That's something I can't answer because I don't know. I haven't spoken to Errol about that.
That's him, Foxy Brown. That's Castle Rockets, and this is trainer too.
I think he's more focused on his fight than anything else.
All right, and I thank you for your time as always, Ronnie.
All right, man.
Errol, welcome back. How do you feel actually deciding to finally come back to the ring?
I feel good. I feel like this is the right time for me to come back, and you know, I feel like
we seen this from Earl already, but you know, we heard the most recent interview from Errol Spence, and we know what's up with Boots. Boots on that type of time. Boots is on that. You hear me? Boots trying to beat ass too, man. But yeah, man. Shout out to Ronnie Shields, man, who gonna have his work cut out for him because he's training two newer fighters in Brian Norman Jr. and Errol Spence Jr., man. I'm hoping to see him this weekend do his thing with B Norm, and then coming up with Errol Spence, man. You know, Morrell took a tough loss, but you know, he was a former Ronnie Shields fighter. He's not no more. Yeah, Boots fight. Yeah, June 27th? June 27th for that one. So. Boom, 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 boom. We gonna see though. We gonna hold on. Let me see something too, man. Oh yeah, man. Like I was saying, but Errol Spence is the only thing we could do is really watch and see what he gonna look like on fight night. It's only so much we could speculate whether that be good or bad. Still gonna have to see him perform ultimately, and that's what I can't wait to see. I hope he prove a lot of people wrong and shut a lot of people up, as I already said it. You know what I'm saying? As I already said it, I'll be chilling and be Norm. He's one of the realest fighters you'll ever meet. I get that impression when I talk to him too, bro. I got that impression when I talk to him behind the hands. He one of them solid ones. So. I can't wait to see what the Errol Spence and Ronnie Shields experiment look like once it takes shape. I'm looking forward to seeing them be successful as well as, you know, Ronnie Shields and Brian Norman. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see these fights, man, coming up. You know, K. Davis rest a while. Kyron being tough, don't he? Yeah, man. Don't he? Kyron Davis, he'll fight whoever. That's why I like him. Well, let's keep rolling, man, because another fight that's highly anticipated that's coming up. And anytime you get a chance to hear from these dudes and they talk, I like it because Shock one of them real ones, man. And look, he been on it, yo. He want beat Ford ass and he want smoke with Corey Stevenson. And he ain't biting his tongue about it. Let's hear this, and then I got the Versace joint with Ray Ford.
Sean's the super featherweight champion O'Shaquie Foster fighting in his home state of Texas, defending the title against Raymond Ford, former featherweight champ, May 30th on DAZN. Shock, man, really looking forward to this fight. It's a high-level matchup. It's if you're a purist, it's a delightful matchup, although, you know, probably won't be delightful in the ring. But let's get into it, man. Have you ever had that press conference in Vegas a couple weeks ago was real tense. You had the coaches talking to you, the fighters talking to each other, not just at the press conference, but for like the last 12 months, if not more. Have you ever had as much animosity for an opponent as you've had heading into this fight?
Nah. Heck, nah. Usually these guys are just, I would say Rocky made me mad when I got out there to Mexico and we got into it at the beach and stuff. That's the only like other time where I was like, all right, I'm gonna knock this dude out. Like I told him on stage, like I'm gonna knock you out. And I feel like this at a way higher scale. Like this dude disrespect me, straight poking me, just picking and doing all that. So yeah, like for sure. Like, I do not like dude. I'ma show him.
So that kind of stuff with Hernandez made you feel like now I really want to win the fight by knockout that much more. Are you because a lot of people see, you know, high speed chess for 12 rounds, not necessarily a knockout coming out of this fight. Are you thinking knockout in your mind heading into this fight now?
Man, I feel like he done poked the bear. So if I get the chance or anything like that, he get too crazy. Yeah, it can be a night where he can go to sleep or get hurt real bad. For sure.
Shock, dead serious, man. One thing I like about it is he honest, man. He got some animosity going into this fight. And I think good animosity that'll lead to a really entertaining fight. Definitely coming from his side, but Ray Ford look like he in great shape. He talking a really good game. He putting a lot of pressure on himself because of how he talking, right? He gonna have to stand on that as I expect him to. But this low key could be one of the best fights of the year, depending on how it play out. I think if both guys are able to bring it the way they saying, yeah, man, the fans truly gonna win that night.
You know, I believe from his standpoint, he feels like he's the hunter in this fight. Like he's the 27-year-old young bull who's been calling you out, and you know you've admittedly been looking at what you feel are bigger fights, like Shakur and everything. What do you got to do to deter that confidence away from him heading into the fight and on fight night?
I mean, like I said, he I don't feel like he that confident as he. I think they trying to make him confident. He trying to tell himself little stuff to make himself confident. But him being 27 don't matter to me. I'm 32. I'm in my prime of my career. And I think people forget this. I'm not an old 32 or a worn out 32. It was a lot of years in my 20s that I did not fight and that I was chilling. So my body is still fresh. And you know what I mean? Like, if you look at my fights with Conceição and the fights before that, which one did I look fresher and more younger in? The Fulton fight. You see what I'm saying? So I done got my body back to being fully healthy and all that. So all that young stuff, man, I ain't too much older than you. We both in the prime. I'm just a little bit more in my prime, so I'm gonna show him why though.
What makes you feel like that confidence isn't 100% sincere? Because for me, on the outside looking in, I'm like, you know, young bull seems very confident, you know, and obviously you'll try to turn that, whatever that is, the other way on the fight. But what makes you think it's not 100% sincere?
I mean, when I talk to him and I look him in his face, when I'm saying certain things, you wouldn't be, if you were so confident, you wouldn't be trying to, like, if you look at that press conference, you seen what they were saying and the stuff they were saying, it just didn't make no sense. You see what I'm saying? He sounded stupid, him and his coach. Then they trying to throw little stuff out there about my coaches, about my losses that was 10 years ago. Like, that tell me y'all trying to build a confidence. Because have I ever mentioned ball? Y'all don't see me mention ball. Like, I don't mention ball at all.
You did mention you weren't able to successfully defend your title.
That's it.
Right.
that's it though. But that's not mentioning Ball as his performance. I don't care about his performance with Ball. You see what I'm saying? I want to see you at your best. So I'm gonna go look at your wins. Nova, woody woo. I don't care about Ball. You see what I'm saying? That was just me telling him, like, bro, you won a title, then lost it, bro. But you talking like you just some kind
been
of
overlooked to a degree.
Guy in the sport. Like, you still need to, you feel me, work your way up. But I think that's a confidence build that they trying to do for themselves, man. Like, he got losses. Pay your coaches. Blah blah blah. Just saying bullshit. Like, what you talking about? All my coaches gonna be in this. All my same coaches is in my corner. That's who I train with on a daily. Like, I ain't switched team. So what are y'all talking about? Like, so yeah, confidence builders. That's it.
You know, I brought up the weight thing heading into the Fulton fight, and you probably saw it on Twitter. I brought it up again when this fight was brought up, and he Ray thinks it's this way of discrediting what he may do May 30th and everything, but it's just you're a big dude at 130, and he just got there in the last 2 years or so he gets to hydrate and be a little comfortable in a new weight class. Why does none of that shit matter?
Oh yeah, I seen your tweet with that, and I seen what he responded like. Nah, so the thing is, I don't have a problem making weight. These guys, only time I ever had a problem making weight at 30 was for Nova, and that was because the circumstances, right? I won't go all the way into details and stuff, but the circumstances was just kind of bad. They didn't have no saunas in New York. It was kind of cold as shit in New York. February, so it was like that kind of thing. But my last fight with Fulton, bro, that was the easiest I've ever made weight. It was the easiest I've ever made weight. So all that I'm not paying no mind. He just that's kind of like the same thing he just went and did on the internet talking about and you could tell he was trying to troll, but I take that as a double-edged sword, because you're gonna say, oh, I ain't working. I've been eating and messing with hoes all the time and woody woo. I ain't taking them serious. I feel like you saying that to troll, but when you lose, that's an excuse that people gonna try to bring up or woody woo. So, you know what I mean? Did you see that?
I didn't. It reminds me of, Floyd and Gervonta when they're in camp doing their 24/7 thing, and they're, Gervonta's eating the candy before Ryan, or Floyd is out at Fat Burger, 2 in the morning before the fight, and it's that show of, I'm so much better than this guy. I got this in the bag kind of thing. I'm not sweating it.
I tell you what, man, Ford my guy, and I love Foster too. Like both of these dudes, support them both, win, lose, or draw. Whatever happen. Like them both, right? But better not be playing around, taking this lightly and, messing around. I heard that. I seen that clip too, but I hope that you are 100% locked in and taking it serious, because you would need to. Anything less is going to result in a loss. This dude ain't playing. He coming with a chip on his shoulder. Last time I seen him fight with a chip on his shoulder, he dominated. And he the kind of guy that mean what he's saying, say what he mean. And I know Ford feels the same way about what he's saying. So I just hope both of these guys can deliver on what they've been putting down so we can get the best fight possible. But now ain't the time to play around, take nobody lightly, or half-ass it, or cut no corners and none of that. Not saying nobody is, but this ain't the fight for that. You know what I mean? Because one slip up and you could easily be behind on the cards and end up losing the fight.
I mean, yeah, it could be that, but that don't make no sense, because I eat what I want. Like, my coaches have to beg me to eat. Like, I eat what I want. So that don't even, you could say that and do all that, but it ain't going to affect me, because I'm not a starving dude that's in camp. These guys have a fat camp and have to lose weight. Like, when I seen him in Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh, yeah, at the Navarrete fight, was it?
Yeah. He was fat. And I told my mans when we I'm like, bro, this dude fat right now. Shoulders all big, bro. Like, he was fat. He was like Fulton when I first seen him in the LA conference. You know what I mean? He had the big ass shirt on, so you can't see his gut. Woody woo. You know what I mean? But I don't have no problem making weight. I don't have no problem. You know what I mean? None of that. So
Well, into the fight itself, stylistically, what's your advantages in this fight?
That I'll spar.
That's good to hear because Shock ain't no small 30-pounder, but I think he's disciplined enough. And I know he's taking this situation and this fight serious enough to be on point and make weight. I don't think he's playing around.
Southpaw my whole life. That's my advantage. I sparred a southpaw since I was 8 years old till I was like 16, 15 years old, and that's all I had to spar.
What southpaw was that? Like
my homie named Jeremy DeVilla. He was a couple-time world champion. Not world champion, national champion in the amateurs. But you can imagine you having one fight. I had one fight when I met them, when they came to the gym. He had 60. So you can imagine what kind of codes I had to break, how many times I had to lead up crying and woo-de-woo till I had to figure that out. You see what I'm saying? So, and this was, it was me and him he was 2 years older than me.
That's real.
I was 8, he was about 10. It's just like we was the only two fighters there at that age. So I'm sparring him to get ready for every orthodox I've ever faced. You see what I'm saying? Like
now, Shock, you know Ray's responsibility. I'm no Jeremy De Silva, I understand you said the man was a national champion. But
that's fine, but
that's crazy.
You're not getting,
my
if he say that,
DeVilla, Jeremy DeVilla. I wonder is he related?
He not getting what I'm saying. He's stupid. I've sparred a southpaw my whole life. It's not like he getting there with these orthodox guys that only seen a southpaw twice or seen a southpaw 3 times and they don't know what to do with that. Mm-hmm. I've literally had to spar that my whole life. I've been in the ring with that my whole life. You see what I'm saying? So sparring a southpaw is like ABCs to me. That's what I'm saying. I mean, fighting a southpaw is like ABC to me. You know what I mean?
Shot really
learn how to
make
box
you rock
fighting a southpaw.
Now, he showed grit when he came back to knock out Klomatov, right? And Klomatov actually had the advantage on him on the outside. And then he bit down, closed the distance, started ripping in the pocket, mid-distance, got closer to him. I think people that are favoring him in this fight, and you are the betting favorite, but it's a 50-50 in a lot of people's eyes too. And then the people feeling Ray's gonna win the fight, they look at it like he has an advantage in the pocket. And maybe has a little bit. Maybe the first time you're fighting somebody a little bit faster than you too, with pure hand speed, especially in that pocket range. What do you think of that, Shock? What's your take on that?
I mean, my take, I don't know what they're talking about. Because who did the better inside work with me and him and Nova?
Well, you dropped Nova late, right? With
yes, but just through the rounds, who did the better inside work? I'm not talking about how he was catching Nova from the outside. But when Nova dropped down and actually walked him, who did the better work? Me. So I don't see it. I don't see what they talking about. Like with the ball fight, Eduardo did the same thing Ball did. What happened in the pocket with me and Eduardo? I clipped him with an uppercut and then it got bad for him. He couldn't do none of that to Ball. You see what I'm saying? So, but I do see what they saying. That's what they banking on. You see what I'm saying? They can't give him nothing else. So that's what they looking at it as. But I don't think they looking at the guy Omatov had a whole knee injury going into that fight. He was asking for wear a knee brace and all kind of stuff. So him pressing that kind of guy is not like, it's not the same as me. Like that guy had a knee injury, so he had to compensate stepping back and doing all this. So it gave Ray Ford where he was here and catch him every time he would come in. You see what I'm saying? But nah, that's a totally different fight than me. That guy long and bouncy and you know what I mean? So I don't see it, but I get what they looking at and trying to, you know, the narrative they trying to put out about it. Yeah, for sure.
And Shock cooking, he making great points. You know what I mean? One thing I was liking about what Ray Ford was saying is, think you're going to just keep me on the outside at the end of your jab all night. Nah, you not. So it sounds like Ray Ford is conscious and aware and understanding of what he's going to have to do in order to make sure this is not one of those Stephen Fulton moments for him where he's stuck in no man's land in the wrong range all night, just getting picked apart, you know, at Shock's mercy. He's going to have to close the gap effectively, efficiently, but it's going to be, you know, some tolls to pay to get there. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be an easy road to cross. Not going to be an easy bridge to cross. Shot going to make you pay for it. You know what I mean? So his IQ is one of the reasons why I know he got a really hell of a chance of winning this fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about who going to equip themselves better and perform on the night. I think they both understand what they need to do. Now it comes down to who's going to actually be able to do it, impose each other, one's will on the other. That's what I'm looking for. Sure. But man, Shock is confident.
On the outside, you got the length advantage, and Stephen Fulton really couldn't get past that range all night, to the point where you didn't really have to fight in the pocket that often. You were able to just pelt him on the outside, and right-handed, left-handed, didn't matter. Do you have that?
Yeah, that's the perfect way to sum it up.
Stylistic advantage for you too on the outside in this fight.
Couldn't agree more. Or do you think
it will come down to the pocket, like you've had to do in some of those fights you mentioned?
Nah, because in them fights that I mentioned, I was compensating too. See what I'm saying? I was compensating for injuries. So now that I'm fully healthy, I showed in the foreign fight, like, it don't matter what aspect we had in the ring, I can do what I want. But they don't. I think a lot of people don't notice with the foreign fight. Fulton is smart, right? He tried to do what Ford and his fans are saying. He tried to close the distance and get on the inside, but he found out from the first round that I can, like, that I really hit. Like the illusion of Shock just being a boxer, boxer puncher is out the window when these guys get in there, because when I hit them, they know I can knock them out. Like, I'm cracking for real. So when you seen Fulton get hit, he kept everything at home. He played it safe for the rest of the fight. You see what I'm saying?
Smaller, older fighter than Ford.
Man, he really smart, bro.
Barely. He 30, 3 years older, man. We ain't gonna do that.
Right.
We ain't gonna do that, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, they try to move the goalposts. No, it ain't no goal. He was way more accomplished, way more seasoned. If we talking skill-wise, he would have beat Ball easy. He would have made it easy in his mind and how he beat him, just like he did with Figueroa, which Figueroa came and beat Ball. You see what I'm saying? So we can't say that. He was younger than me, too. He was 30. You know what I mean? It's just, I think these guys look at my fights and they be like, look at the rating when they did.
I like listening to him because he don't just be talking.
The power, they asked him about my power. He said 0, 2, 1, 2 or some shit.
Isaiah said Ford money.
That's what I'm talking about. So when he get in there and he feel this, I guarantee you all that, I'm going to walk him down. It's going to be out the window. He going to go back to that same little stuff. Just watch, bro. Just watch.
Before you get out of here, just...
I like that. Shock said, man, once he feel these things, man, he ain't going to really want to come up in there. He going to go... Shout out to Shock Foster. That's why I like doing this, bro. Love to hear from him, man. He's confident. He mean what he say. He's smart. The thing is, he not just saying what he needs to do. He knows how to get it done. And it's not going to be easy to stop him from getting it done. Like, yeah, that's why I love him. He have that Brian Norman cloth, right? They don't sell it to you. They telling you what it is, right? They don't sell it, right? This shit ain't just trash talk. This is real assessment, breakdowns, like X's and O's, how I'm gonna get it done. Like, this is what he do, and this is what's gonna happen. Like, this is how this is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he do his homework, man. When a guy don't waste time on excessive trash talk, but instead breaking down things from a logical standpoint, you know that's a hell of a fighter to deal with.
Here, just
that's why I play these things.
The hot quotes
been taking notes.
Into this fight your way. He said, "quote You're dick riding." In reference to Shakur Stevenson recently. What's your response to that?
If I'm dick riding, then what are you doing? Because me, I really want to make the fight happen, and I only went to Shakur because he was playing both sides, trying to come be friends with me, trying to get me to come spar with her, and then you put your mans out. Great for you. I would have been, if I was Shakur, I would have been mad at you, because if Shakur came to you probably and told you, if you ever fight me, that he want to be there hand and foot, he want to spar you all the time, be there. And you go say that to the interviewer, and that's what made me go after Shakur. See what I'm saying? that's a difference. That ain't got nothing to do with dick riding. But for you to say, hey, where the beef come from, and you talk about sparring.
Well, what did make you decide? Let's not do. I'm not gonna do the sparring after all, because he says
It
you guys
wasn't
agree
no
to it.
It wasn't no deciding, bro. It was, I don't know what the hell I was doing at that time. That's why I'm like, bro, you bringing up sparring. That's how I know you. Like, you a weak person, and I don't know you. You don't know me. We've never met in person before that. You text me about sparring. I told you in the text I was out of town, that I was doing stuff. You see what I'm saying? I told you I would try to get my coach to set it up for that Saturday. We never said a gym that we was gonna do it at. We didn't say we were gonna go to Prince Gym or Main Street Gym, my gym, or anything. You see what I'm saying? I fought one time in 2022. That was in the beginning of 2022 when I fought Yokobov. I didn't fight again until February, Ray Vargas in February. I don't know what the hell I was doing at that time. I know I wasn't in a gym like sparring niggas sparring people every day. Excuse my language, sparring people every day. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
shout out to all
like,
the fighters that be trying to clean up their language and limit the N-bombs they be dropping. Shout out to Shock, man. This has been cool to listen to him talk. Like I said, I don't take no sides. I hear him speaking his piece. It sounds like what he's saying is very plausible. I did hear Ray Ford explain where the beef came from too, and that's something that he hit on. He said, you know, how he agreed to sparring and then didn't want to show up. And I get it. They both have their reasoning for why they feel the way they do. And you don't got to side with neither. You could just understand that Shock is telling his truth and Ray Ford is telling his. He felt like we had it a date or time. We set up the sparring and you ain't show up. Shock like, bro, I was out doing shit. And it just seemed really possible, bro. And at the end of the day, would it really matter? Ain't neither one of them scared, because if they was, why the hell would they be fighting each other? You know what I'm saying? So they both real ones, and may the best man win. Into spar there where problems started. I was there. Shout out to you. Shout out to my guy. I already told y'all.
You got a key in your back, and you really
ground TV. You know what I'm saying? That's behind the hands.
Talking about sparring. That's why you got animosity. And then it don't make sense. Right after that, what he said,
shout out to Ishmael.
He said I hated on him after he won the fight or something, after he won his title. That's how you know these guys ain't that smart. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You mentioned my name in the ring after you won the title. You see what I'm saying? So why wouldn't I go and be like, hey, he fooled? I ain't hating on you, dude. You called my name. You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking? You trying to build narratives and pump yourself up to have some beef with me. You just got a key in your back. Just say that. Your daddy wanted you to come look at me, and you fell for it and went for it. That's it. You protecting another man. That's it. Just say that. That's all.
What do you make of? You called them the Avengers. What do you make of all the excellent work he is getting in the gym with Richardson, Hitchens, and Shakur heading into this fight?
I didn't call it the Avengers. I said they act like they act like they the Avengers. They act like they this and that. But I don't look at it nothing. Hitchens is scary as hell. I've been knowing that. Like, I've been knowing that for years. Like, that's been the word in boxing. Like, they had to pump him up for certain sparring sessions, woo-de-woo. And he know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to go say who is sparring woo-de-woo. But they had to put a key in his back to go spar and
I know what he
stuff like that. He got a heart problem.
Man.
He got a heart problem. Not a physical heart problem. He just ain't got no heart. You see what he did with the one tape? Hell, I'm gonna worry about Hitchens for he's scary like that. And Shakur, he can't mimic my style. He don't do. Only thing he can mimic is probably a step back. He don't got the offensive repertoire that I got. He don't switch southpaw orthodox. They don't know how I'm coming. They don't know how I'm coming. So I don't really care what they doing over there. Like, I don't care what they doing. He can spar them, but he ain't gonna be able to work on what he want to work on, because them guys gonna take it away from him.
Well, lastly, Oshaki, I appreciate the time, man. This is the last one. Why should people pull up to Houston? What can they expect in this fight? Why should they tune in?
Man, it's gonna be amazing. I got something in store for y'all. It's gonna be a domination. We're gonna have the whole squad mad. Of course, he gonna come with what he come with, and I'm gonna take everything away from him and put him back to where square one. And then it's just gonna be a great night, man. Y'all pull up, y'all tune in. It's gonna be great. That's all.
I appreciate the time, man. Great interview. Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you.
Shout out to Shock Foster, man, and Sean Zartel, man. Always doing the great work out there in the world, man. I gotta get to this. So we heard from Shock. I like what he's saying. Look, Shock confident. He ready. He want to fight. He want to win. He ain't fun no good games, you know? We got a fight on our hands, fellas. We got a fight on our hands, man. Can't wait to see this joint, though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. It's gonna be one of the best fights, I think, that we can get. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Rarely I do. But yeah, man, Shock ready to go, man. He did what people, said do, right? Went and got it in there before. He like, man, he wants Shakur next. He's very clear what he want. He called Ray Savage the dollar store Shakur Stevens. But this is gonna be Ray. This is one of his more recent interviews too, man. So you get to hear from both fighters as well, man. We might wrap up with this one. So shout out to everybody for rocking out. Hit that like button. Keep hitting the like button. Sub to the channel, and we're going to keep going. Let's hear this. Is Ray 4 with Mr. Versace, man. This wasn't a super long. It was like 20 minutes, but good interview. It's always good to hear from the fighters, man.
Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Versace himself, Rick Reno, and joining me today is former world champion Raymond Ford. On May 30th, he will attempt to become a 2-division world champion when he challenges WBC super featherweight belt holder O'Shaquie Foster at the Fertitta Center in Houston, Texas, live and exclusive on DAZN. Ray, you were raised in Camden, New Jersey?
Yes.
Talk to me about being raised in Camden. I know it's a tough area, how your upbringing was, and what eventually led you to the sport of boxing.
So I used to fight a lot as a kid at home, school. I used to get expelled from schools, suspended every day. Well, not every day, but like every time I would go back to school, I would get suspended that same day. And then that's what started leading to like expulsions and things like that. And then I started going to disciplinary schools. But growing up, I mean, I felt like it was fun for me, like, growing up in the city, going outside, block parties, things like that, is everything. You know how the cities is on the East Coast, everybody close, like the houses close together. So I had a lot of friends and things like that. But that's what got me into fighting was, fighting a lot, like back at home and in the streets and schools, everything. So then it was a kid on my block. He was a boxer. And he seen me fight one time, and he basically like took me under his wing. He was like older. I think I was like 9 at the time. And he was like 14 or 15 or something like that. But he ended up taking me under his wing. He told me I reminded him of Floyd Mayweather just because like how I talk. I used to talk a lot of shit. So
Is that what led to most of the fights?
Yeah, for sure.
So when you were, me being an East Coast guy myself, so I know how everything's kind of like congested and everything is sort of like neighborhood rivalries, territorial beefs. Yeah. It's not even like everyone always thinks of like gangs, but it's not even has anything to do with gangs. If you're on one block, someone comes over from another block, you're not from the neighborhood.
Right.
The hands could be swinging.
Yeah, or more.
So is that like a lot of times like people would try to, do you think it was more of like a testing ground when you were younger? Like someone would try to test you and like bigger kids, stuff like that?
Yeah, I used to fight a lot of bigger kids, because I was always
on the hands, what's up.
I would be the one that would be testing them too. So it was like I was like, yeah,
I'll take it to them before they take it to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And how was it when you first got into boxing and you started doing it? Did a point of time come to you when you were an amateur where you said, you know, I'm really good at this. This might be a way for me to make a living?
I felt like I always had talent, like even when I was sparring and things like that. Because I used to watch a lot of Floyd, and I would just be like do everything that I would see him do in the gym and things like that. So I knew I always had like the talent. My coaches always used to say that I had fast hands, and the only thing was me, you know, being dedicated to it and really like, you know, staying locked in with it. And then once I, you know, started really locking in, I knew I could be able to take it as far as I wanted to take it.
So was Floyd one of the fighters you primarily like paid attention to when you were younger? Were there other guys that you saw out there that you were like, you know, I like how this guy does this or does that?
Yeah, Floyd was like the start of it. Like that was like the only boxer that I knew. And I other than Muhammad Ali, but you know, he wasn't during my time and things like that. But he was like the only boxer that I knew that of that time. So it was him, and then it was Adrian Broner, and then I started like getting into the amateurs like Rashid Warren, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, you know, guys like that.
So I know you're good friends with Shakur. How did that friendship begin?
My first time meeting Shakur, I was 13. It was at a tournament in Mesquite, Nevada. It was my first national tournament, and I remember him just winning and making it look easy every day. And as time went on, like I started seeing him like do his Olympic run, because it was a point in time where I wasn't boxing. I stopped boxing for like a few years, but I remember he was making his Olympic run and things like that. And then I kind of got back into boxing probably like a year after that, after he went to the Olympics. And then I got on the USA team. I actually fought one of his close friends that he was close with from New Jersey as well, Malik. And he was there when I beat him. And then I got on the USA team, and that's when like we really start like, you know, getting like building our relationship and things like that.
Now you're going in with Foster. He's got a tough style. When did Foster first come on your radar? When did you first hear about him?
I heard about him when I was in the amateurs. I used to see him fight on Showbox. Seen him fight on Showbox a couple times. And yeah, that was my first time like hearing of him. But then I never really like paid him no mind until like he became world champion. And then I knew I was gonna be moving up to 130 soon, because I was already big for the weight class at 126. So I had my eyes on like the world champions at 130 already.
You know, speaking of Shakur, do you think he always gave you a little bit of assist with this fight? Because him and Foster have had some some words back and forth, and I know he told O'Shaquie that maybe I'll give you a chance. You got to fight Ray first.
Nah, see, it started with me and O'Shaquie. Yeah, people don't know.
And you know, just like I understood where Shaq was coming from, he spoke his truth and told his side. You hear Ray Ford speak on where it started at. For me, I seen them going at it way before I seen the Shaq and Shakur shit. So I'm familiar with what he's talking about. That was the thing before. Then Shakur got in the mix, and people kind of lost track of the fact that he already was talking about fighting him before Shakur was in Shaq's crosshairs, so to speak.
Because Shakur is obviously the bigger name, so everybody's just gonna, you know, they tune into that. But it started with me and O'Shaquie first. O'Shaquie brought Shakur into it because he felt some type of way over, you know, Shakur saying that me and him was going to spar each other to get me ready to fight O'Shaquie, which I don't understand, because what's the problem with that? We in the same gym, we in the same camp. Why wouldn't, you know, we get some working?
Now, it seems to be a little bit of disdain between the two of you. Where does it stem from? Because I know a lot of times, you know, fighters, they'll talk shit for hype, but this seems to be a little bit legitimate. You know, some guys will say, "Oh, I said this and that." It was just for promotion. This seems to be a little bit more than promotion. What does it stem from, and how did it start? Was it something on social media or something said behind the scenes?
It I mean, for me, it really started. I mean, I could go back to where it really started.
Yeah, you could go back. You could go back.
All right, so it was a point in time where I was getting ready for a fight. This is before I was like even in the world title talks at 126. I was getting ready for a fight, and I had text Oshaki on Instagram like, "Yo, can we get some sparring in? Like, can we get some work in?" He's like, "Yeah, cool. Like, we can get some work in. Like, I'll come down, whatever." And we set up the date and everything. And when the day came, I'm texting him like, "We still good for the day?" And I texted him the day before, the night before.
Yeah.
I texted him like, "We still good for tomorrow?" And he left me on scene. And when I got to the gym, he wasn't there. So that's where like, I'm like, damn, this is soft. Like, why would you set up sparring? Give me your word that we're gonna work, and then you don't show up. You feel me? So like, I ain't respect that about him. But I never really took it like personal or nothing like that. I just was like, all right.
And that's a little simple misunderstanding, bro. If Shaq was truly scared, he wouldn't be fighting him and giving him an opportunity at his title. You get what I'm saying? So that puts all that to bed. That's them on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you say you was there. So yeah, I just think it was a miscommunication. I think what Shaq explained sounds plausible, but you could certainly understand it from Ray Savage's position, right? He like, man, damn, I thought we was good, right? But Shaq like, shit, damn, man, we ain't etched nothing in stone, and I was out doing shit, right? That's real possible. I just don't get scary from neither one of these dudes. That's all. You know what I mean? I think the fight is going to demonstrate exactly that. I don't think neither of these guys are going to be scared. You know what I'm saying? Shaq was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
I'm used to that right going on back on at home in Jersey and, you know, in the Philly area. You know, a lot of people don't want to spar me back at home. So, but it was going to be our first time working. I never met him before or nothing. So that kind of like threw me off a little bit. But after I won my title at 126, he went to Twitter and said I was food. So that's how, you know, I started getting on that time with him.
Yeah, because I think I'd asked him something to the similar question. He said something along the lines of that you called him out or mentioned his name after a fight.
Yeah. Everybody seen that on TV. But he acting like I just singled him out. I called out everybody. If you go back, go look at the interview after I beat Kumatov. I said, I want to move up to 130. I called out Oshagi Foster, Lamont Roach, and whoever else was the champion at the time.
Now, when you were going up to your new weight class, was he the guy that you first said to yourself in your head, that's who I want to get in the ring with? Or was there someone else and the Foster fight came along and you said, I'll fight him. Give me the contract.
Yeah, he was the first one that came to my head, especially after he said what he said on Twitter. Because, like, I felt like I ain't even in your division yet. You saying I'm food. I mean, you know, I felt like you was hating on my moment for real. That's why I really feel like you just hating. And he ain't want me to, probably ain't really want to fight. I mean, I still don't think he really want to fight me, but, you know.
So it sounds like you got a little bit of a point to prove in this fight.
I think they definitely really want to fight each other, but I feel for it. I can understand why you can see it differently, but Shaq a real one, and so is Ford. That's why this fight matters. That's why it's going to be a
point to prove every fight.
Care about it.
But in this fight where I don't know, I mean, I've seen some of the buildups to some of your fights in the past. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody call you food.
Shout out to my dog, Dame.
I mean, you know, we're going to see who get. Never mind. That was about to be crazy. I ain't gonna say that.
You can say anything. It's uncensored on this show. You can say anything.
We're going to see who the food is on May 30th.
Mr. Versace on that.
What would you take away from his last performance with Stephen Fulton?
Good performance.
Did you were you surprised that it? I think some people thought it would be a little bit more competitive. Were you surprised that it wasn't as competitive?
Yeah,
I did at first, but after like knowing hearing what went on in Fulton's camp, I wasn't surprised. So
now you had the tough fight with Nick Ball, close fight. Things didn't go your way.
Yeah.
What did you take away from that fight? What do you think like went wrong? Like after you reflect on and watch the footage, was there anything that you saw that you said, I did too much of that, or I should have did more of this, it was working?
It took me some time to like loosen up and warm up. I can blame it on the weight all day, but it's definitely things that like I could have, did better, that probably could have made the fight a little more easier to where it could have swung my way.
He just
I probably could have started like a little early. I probably could have started a little earlier. Yeah.
You think you might have played in a little bit too much into his style, like fighting his fight more than your fight?
I felt like I had to in that moment. Yeah, I felt like I had to in that moment. But what I took from that fight is that I'm really a bad motherfucker, because I like that fight. I feel like anybody who was feeling the way that I felt on that night, feeling drained against somebody like Nick Ball, who's a nonstop, puncher. He probably would have got him up out of there. He probably would have stopped him or whatever. But I showed my dog, my grit, and that I can bite down even in the, later rounds, still trying to figure out a way to, make it happen for myself.
And he was on Nick Ball.
It was a good fight. It was a close fight. I was at that fight.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end, being someone who's watching it at ringside, I wasn't sold on, one side or the other. I think if they would have, announced you winning, I wouldn't have been like, this is some huge robbery and let's investigate everything.
Right, yeah. I think it was like it could have went either way. Like, I'm not mad at the decision. Everything is a learning experience. That's what I'm gonna say. You live and you learn, and I just take that moment and get better from it, and make smarter decisions.
Were you a little surprised that his reign ended so quickly?
I felt like he held the belt down for a little bit. We had five defenses or something like that.
Was it that many? Maybe I lost track. I know when they made the fight with Figueroa, a lot of people had Figueroa as almost like an afterthought in that fight.
Yeah.
They were looking at Nick Ball and Inoue, whoever else, and sometimes it's just someone you don't see coming.
Yeah. With that fight, I had it like 50-50 because of the styles. I knew it was like they both coming to bang. So anybody can win that type of fight.
Yeah, I think I remember I didn't catch that fight live as it happened, and someone called me immediately and was like, Nick Ball just got knocked out. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Nick Ball just got knocked out. They were like, yeah, he got like practically face planted.
Yeah.
Then I had to run home to catch it.
Yeah. I still haven't even watched the full fight, but I did see the highlight where he got stopped.
So
that blood and guts warrior stuff be tough. It'd be cool until you run into somebody that's just as tough and end up putting you out. I do think Ray Ford was compromised with the way you could see he looked stiff, and it took him a while to get going, like he said. And I don't think it's no excuse. I think the reality is what the weight cut was tough. He was already talking about going up a weight class, and I think he got offered the opportunity to make it back and fight again, and he did so, and he paid the price. But it's like you live and you learn. Since then he's been winning, and he's one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of his career. He's gonna need it because Shock Foster is not going to be easy to deal with, man. He said he had to run home to catch it. Yeah, he wasn't even on it. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to be watching.
How many you said you watched a couple of O'Shaquie Foster's fights, even dating back to before you went pro.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most complicated thing about his style? Because some people have compared his style to being like a spoiler. Like he spoils the style of the other guy.
He probably them. He ain't gonna spoil my style. I think O'Shaquie is a good boxer. I think he got a good, decent IQ. He got a good jab. I think he's a good boxer.
Is there anything you see as far as, his fights? Some of the decisions have been close. And based on what happened with you and Nick Ball, do you think you have to be a lot more decisive in the rounds to separate yourself?
Definitely, for sure. He the world champion, so I got to come in there and take the belt from the champion. I don't want to go in there and have a close fight with him. That's not my job. That's not what I plan to do.
Based on some of the statements he said, what do you think that he gets
first?
What's he most wrong about, I would say, about what that you feel when he talks about Ray Ford?
That I'm a dollar store version of
who do you say you're a dollar store version of?
Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he wrong at.
I've seen some of the stuff you said. You're oozing with confidence in this fight. So I know you see certain things where you're like, this is my time now.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I see a lot of things where I just be like, hey, hey, that's all I can say. Like, I be seeing a lot of comments, a lot of things that he say, people from his side saying things like that. I just be like, okay. I'm glad they think the way they think, though.
What would it mean to you as far as, after you've reached the highs, obviously with anytime you suffer a loss, you go into the lows. What would it mean to you personally to become a 2-division champion in this game?
It just it would definitely mean a lot to me, but I'm not like satisfied with just becoming a 2-division world champion. I know there's a lot more that I can do, and I'm not going, just stay content with, becoming a 2-division world champion. I just feel like this is another step into me leading and, building my legacy and possibly becoming in the Hall of Fame one day. So I'm just, adding on until my career is over.
Not to, a lot of guys take it fight by fight, and not to look past Foster, but what would be the goal for you going off of a fight like this? Would you want to unify the division? Would it be the next biggest name out there, maybe someone like Emmanuel Navarrete?
Yeah.
Or, how long do you want to stick around the weight class?
I be asking myself that same question, like, after this fight, what would I do? I'm still just like, I still don't even know. I still don't even have the answer for it, to be honest. I think my main focus is just to get the job done. Like, that's all I can really, like, see and think of right now. But after I win it, I still probably have to, sit and think about it for a little bit, see what my next move would be.
Is someone like Navarrete interesting to you as an opponent?
For sure, definitely.
Because it seems like that would be a natural person for the winner of this fight. Yeah. That would be the natural big fight of the weight class.
Yeah, definitely. I think Navarrete is, outside of this fight, I think that's the biggest fight in the division. And I feel like, with him having his Mexican fan base, I feel like me and him coming together, off of me coming off of this fight, this is going to have a big build up, and, the history behind this fight, a lot of people going to tune into it. So I feel like this fight going to take me to the next level. So with me and Navarrete clash, I think it's going to be a big fight.
Now, would you rank this fight as the biggest or toughest fight of your career to date?
The biggest, yeah. The toughest, I don't think so, but
you won't know until you probably get in there.
Yeah.
How do you expect the crowd to be? Do you expect your fans to show out? Do you expect a hostile crowd?
I
know you're not a guy that's like swayed by the crowd, but
yeah, I'll be locked in. I I expect them to be there for him. We in Texas, Texas people, they gonna ride for their own, rightfully so. So I'm expecting to get the boos and all that walking into the arena, but that's gonna feel me. Like that's gonna turn me into a different person on that night, and I can't wait for it.
So I'm sure based on that, that's gonna have you being more decisive in the rounds.
Yeah,
because when you're in those type of crowds, he could just flick a jab and the crowd erupts.
Yeah. But my job is to keep them quiet. Yeah.
So you're going to be one of those guys that wants to take the crowd out of the fight early in the early rounds.
For sure, definitely.
So 2026, a new year. Map out for me what would be a perfect 2026 for Ray Ford.
I knock out Shakur Foster. And I fight at home. And then probably unify in the next fight. No. Well, I'll probably fight once this year. One more time after this. So, yeah.
So, to you, it would always be one of those things to get on the bucket list, win another world title, make a first defense in front of your hometown fans.
Yeah, that's what I wanted after my first world title. If I stayed at the weight, but other opportunities came, and I took, obviously I took the other opportunity, but I definitely always wanted to fight home.
So, May 30th, hostile crowd, Shakur Foster. What could the people expect from Ray Ford?
Me doing whatever I want in there, dominating. I know he said the same thing, but I'm really going bring some pain.
And you heard those are some fighting words from this man right here. And I want everybody to tune in May 30th, live and exclusive on DAZN.
Shout out to Mr. Versace and Ray Ford, man. It's a good interview, man. Like I said, these dudes, it's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And this is going to be a great fight. I think this is one of the best times for Shaq to be getting meaningful fights. I think he's rolling with a lot of confidence. He's been building his momentum. Ray Ford's been quietly building as well, doing his thing. And I expect to see both of these dudes give everything they got, man. They both said a lot. They both gonna have to deliver. This should be a great fight on both ends, man. You say you gotta have that NJ accent. All right. Shakur calling for Navarrete only to be met with deaf ears. He didn't work. No, slick styles all wrong with him. I mean, Shakur ain't really been stressing about no Navarrete fight though. Navarrete at 32 at right now. He went back to 30, so that's why Ray Ford was being asked about him. I don't think he on Shakur radar, but I expect this fight to be good. Look, Ray Ford is doing the right thing by sparring with the guys he's sparring with. I mean, from you, I do everything in my power to deal with this dude from Orange, Texas. It's going to be a tough fight. And Shakur's going to make for damn sure that, you eat your words. He's going to try to make you, eat your words. He did it with Cool Boy. Proved a lot of people wrong in that particular fight. And it was very impressive as to how you got it done. You know what I'm saying? That's a good point, Aunt McQueen. Great point. That's a great point. Especially when they start to talk and you start saying certain words, you get hyped up. You'll start to hear it a little bit more. It's just Ray Ford so damn laid back. You get me? That's what it is. But I hear you. I get exactly what you're saying. That's that laid backness that kind of throw it off. But let them get animated. You really hear when they get animated. It's funny. It's funny. You can hear it. But yeah, man, shout out to both fighters, man. We got some good fights coming up this month, man. We already had some good fights. We got the Bad Blood with the businessman and Nahir Albright. And lastly, before we get out of here, I wanted to touch on this. Shout out to Albright, man. I seen him put up a a status saying they was blocking him from the gyms. said they was blocking him from the gyms in Philly. I mean not Philly, VA, Virginia. So he cracking up. They spreading the word in VA to not let me train at none of the gyms. I made it here safely though. Look, I think it's just mind games, man. I think it's just mental warfare. You know, you do stuff like this. You hear about shit like this in boxing, but Nahir Albright ended up in the gym, and I think at the end of the day, he gonna be on point. He'll be ready to go. I would expect them to treat Keyshawn the same way if he was going to Philly as the challenger, right? Be going to his hometown, so maybe say put the word out, don't let him in the gym. I don't know. More hype for Ronda Rousey than Keyshawn. Just who? Who the hell is we? Yeah. Who's we? I ain't Ronda Rousey. Shit, I'm not even watching that. I don't think at all. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even trying to, but hell nah. I'm hyped for Keyshawn and Albright. And then we got my guy Brian Norman Jr. in the co-main. I'm definitely hyped to see them dudes do their thing. And then you got Shock and Ray Ford coming up. We got Boots, Xander Zayas. It's fights. Loma out of retirement. You know what I mean? Sprinkle a little Nahir on the money line. I feel you, but hey, I don't think he's gonna win this fight. I think Keyshawn just on point. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Nahir, man. I think the mind games is being played, man, with him saying, you know, they wasn't allowing him into the gym. But he made it there though. He said he made it safe. He made it to the gym. You did. My buzz not the same as it was the first time in the city. I mean, I'm not out there. I think the fight gonna do what it do, because I think it got a backstory to it. Then he got his brothers on it. So I don't know what the energy is like. I'm not out there, but I know the first time he did his thing. You know what I mean? I expect him to do his thing this time. I expect Virginia to show up and show out for him. Foxy said, my neighbor waiting on the round to fight. Can we keep showing Ronda not fighting Clarissa? I don't give a damn about that one. Yeah, I don't know. I think she fighting the actress, the chick that was doing some of the movies, right? That was a fighter that turned actress. And she went from the fighter to WWE to actress to back to fighter, man. Ronda about to pick up a bag, man. We got Dave Allen getting stopped. Dave Allen is fighting Hrgovic, ain't he? I think he's fighting Hrgovic. But yeah, man, they said no gyms for Nahir. Nahir said, man, they ain't letting me eat, man. They ain't letting me in the gyms. They ain't letting me. You know what I'm saying? They ain't letting me in the gyms now, damn it. Said they spreading the word, man. He said, Keith put out the bat signal like, hey, man, don't let that Albright kid in no gym. You know what I'm saying? Make him go to 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness or something. You know what I'm saying? What is it called? What is it? Workout World or Planet Fitness? Yeah, make his ass go to Planet Fitness and work out. You know what I'm saying? No gyms in VA. You ain't allowed, G. But I think that's just mind games for real. I've heard people say Keyshawn Davis can't come to Philly and stuff like that. So, I mean, you expect it. It is a bit of bad blood from these two dudes. They want to fight each other. They don't like each other. I mean, I think Nahir's made it clear. He said it's personal for him. I mean, Nahir like, man, hey, it's personal, man. He came up in my damn locker room, G. You know what I'm saying? Albright like, man, he came up in my locker room, man. You know what I mean? Tossing furniture around and all that, man. You know? Shout out to Woo, though. Yeah, I rock with him. He tough, man. Woo's a tough guy, man. I know he gonna bring that, got that Philly pride. And he really can fight. Like I've always said, he really can fight. Even Keyshawn said it. Like he had to sit here and watch. He like, oh, nah, this dude really could fight. Yeah, because he can. He really can. He really got scraps in him, man. Albright really got scraps in him, man. Yeah,
fight is personal. Tell us why.
To me, yes, this fight is very personal because on the biggest night of my life where I won the WBC Silver USA Championship, he came in and disrupted that. You know, I couldn't even celebrate in peace because of what happened. So this fight is definitely personal.
I think the media is trying to make it personal. Like the only, like, I'm, like to me, like, you know, it's just another fight. It's another opportunity for me. It's another chance for me to get paid. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not taking this personal at all, honestly. Like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna stop him, and I live to fight another day.
Tell us what went down backstage after his fight against Kelvin.
You know, I was celebrating and they came into my room and everything. Yeah.
They want him. They want him to say, "Yeah, he socked
nothing,
me,
really.
my face, man. Beat my ass
He went
back
home.
there." That's what they want Albright to say. Yeah, he was kicking my ass back there, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what happened. Got a little scuffle. You know what I'm saying? A little scuffle. You know what I'm saying? He got it back in blood, though, all big bro. You know what I'm saying? He got big bro. You know what I'm saying? Got big bro, and Keyshawn was stressing. He had to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So now he get a chance at redemption. But I don't think Keyshawn gonna come in here emotional. I think he gonna come in here focused, laid back. But I expect him to handle business just like he did the first time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie, Craig. You know what I mean? Albright, you know what I mean? Look, man, Albright got a solid lineup, G. You know what I'm saying? Albright got a solid lineup. On the real. Feel me? Get what I'm saying? Frank Martin. I thought he should have got that dub. He beat Kelvin. The no contest with Keyshawn. Fought Carlos Balderas. He won by majority decision. Carlos Balderas is pretty good. You know what I mean? He beat this other guy down here. But the thing is, if you just look at the level of competition, those guys ain't none of them dudes Keyshawn. That's a good resume for sure. And you can add Jermaine Ortiz on there. He fought him as well. I think Jermaine Ortiz beat him, though. I think Ortiz beat him. I think so. I think it was Ortiz that beat him. But yeah, he got some more. He got some people. Butcher was good, homie. Fought some folk, man. He fought some folk. That's a nice lineup, man. And he's saying it's personal because of the locker room incident. I could understand that and respect it. Put hands on me, I would be saying it's personal too, G. I would be wanting to punch you in your damn eye. You feel me? So pick Martin to win and woo, jack me up. Yeah. I know a lot of people pick Frank Martin. I thought he beat Frank. Gave him hell, hurt him late. Frank looked like he was ready to go. But Frank tough as hell, man. And he was getting his stuff in too. Let me say that. Frank made a tough fight for Wu because he was tagging him up. Good combinations he was landing. But thing with Albright is he's awkward and he got like this offbeat time and he throw punches when you don't expect him to. And it's just like he at the most, you know, like he got this awkward timing, man. Like he throw it again, like it's just been when you least expect it, or you don't think he can throw a punch in the position he'll be in, but he'll throw one and it'll be effective. So he's just sneaky. He know how to fight. He could flat out go. He really could. Got that Philly pride. He can fight for real, and he been playing spoiler. He's a live underdog, but I just do believe that because Keyshawn is locked in and focused, that he gonna be able to take it. He's going to be able to handle business and win this fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him losing this fight at all. Not one bit. You get me? Think he's going to handle business. Feel me, G? You know what I mean? He looking sharp in his camp. I seen his camp updates. He looked like he in shape. I'm pretty sure Albright doing his thing. He said he was able to find a gym in VA, so he's able to train and do his thing. I'm just hoping to see a great fight. Man, maybe Keyshawn shut up some more naysayers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but he got this sneaky, offbeat timing and rhythm, and he throw punches when you don't expect. And he's the kind of guy he's prideful. So when you hit him, he want his back. He usually find the answer. That's what I like about Wu. He don't just let you just beat his ass. Like you're not doing that. You gonna fight. You gonna have to fight with him. You know what I'm saying? Even Keyshawn beat him. Keyshawn had to earn it, but he beat him. You know what I'm saying? But I expect him to do it this time as well, man. You get me? That no contest. It ain't going to be that this time. You're going to get a focus dialed in. I believe Keyshawn Davis that got a lot to prove, man. He got a lot to prove. Yeah, he'll smother you, and he tall and he linky. He rangy. He rangy. He knows how to use it, but at the same time, he gives up height and reach because he likes to fight. His willingness to get in there and mix it up. So he like to do a number of different things in there, man. But I think Keyshawn's patience, his poise, his ability to control distance and range, slow fights down, pick his shots well. He got real good vision, as well as being defensively responsible with a high IQ, high pedigree. Woo Albright got his work cut out for him. You know what I'm saying? Woo Albright. But this is a case of bad blood, and it will be settled. It will be settled. The best man will win, I believe. I truly believe that, you know? Said Norfolk, Virginia, tough city. They stick together. I'm telling you, man. That's why they was saying. He was saying that they put the word out not to let him in the gyms. He went on the attack and bam, unexpected right hand from Wall. Yeah, facts. And when he caught him with that shot, absolute facts. That these facts, my guy. That these facts shooting. These facts shooting. Keyshawn can't fight emotionally. Yeah, I don't think he will, though. I don't expect that from him. You know what I'm saying? You see how calm he was talking in that clip just a second ago that I had up this joint. Like, he don't seem like that's what he planned on doing. Seem like he know to keep his head, because that's how you win fights of this magnitude. The last thing you could do is afford to go out there and be emotional and outside yourself and not control what's going on in there. That's what makes Keyshawn really good, his ability to control the action and dictate the terms and the pace. That's what he's good at doing. So I expect him to do the same, but in a better fashion. And my question, too, just to be fair on the other side, being that Albright is saying it's personal, is that going to impact how you approach this fight?
Fight is personal. Tell us why.
To me, yes, this fight is very personal because on the biggest night of my life, where I won the WBC Silver USA Championship, he came in and disrupted that. You know, I couldn't even celebrate in peace because of what happened. So this fight is definitely personal.
I think the media is trying to make it personal. Like I'm like, to me, like, you know, it's just another fight. It's another opportunity for me. It's another chance for me to get paid. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not taking this personal at all, honestly. Like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna stop him, and I live to fight another day.
Tell us what went down backstage after his fight against Kelvin.
You know, I was celebrating and they came into my room and everything, yeah.
Nothing really. We went home.
Right. Only because he's saying it's personal, right? Like, but to be fair, I think Albright is the kind of guy that will channel that emotion into like fighting hard, right? I don't think he'll be careless and reckless. I think he'll fight hard. But in fighting hard, sometimes you could make mistakes and leave opportunities for the other guy. And if you leave those type of opportunities for somebody as talented as Keyshawn, he gonna feast. You know what I'm saying? He definitely looking to stop you this time. You was getting cut. You was cut up in your last fight with Frank Martin. Good point, Ant McQueen with the scar tissue. Yeah, around that eye, man. Yeah, bro. He gonna definitely. I think he definitely gonna target that eye. I forgot who he was looking at. He was seeing their scars and stuff on their face. It was funny. I'm like, yo, Keyshawn crazy. So I think he definitely a target. You know what I mean? You see that eye start taking some damage, man. You're gonna lean into it, but I expect this to be a banger, man. A real banger from both, man. Like, again, Albright is playing spoiler. He want nothing more than to win. He playing with house money. He don't really got shit to lose. There's a lot of people that think he gonna lose again, but it's people that really think he can win and upset stuff with the way he's been fighting, right? Some people are banking on Keyshawn not being focused and, you know, hopefully he could get caught slipping, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Youngin look like he locked in. Hope everything clicking on all cylinders in camp. I think it'll result into him closing a book on this chapter, right? Unfinished business to an extent, right? You know what I mean? The no contest will now go as a W, and if Keyshawn have his way, it's going to be a KO victory win for him. So we'll see. You already know. Shout out to Jermall, man. But we're going to see, man. It's been a good, dope live. Another 4-hour banger in the books. We put in that work. Shout out to CJ, too, man, my dog. Mr. Versace like a baby pimp. I'm telling you, give me that Frankie Ladeo vibes a little bit. Tell me, Frankie Ladeo. That's what he gave me. But we just gave boxing his just due. We got Loma coming back out of retirement. The fans talking like they want to see Tank. I'm seeing the videos. I think the fight makes sense. Go ahead and run the fade. Put the questions to bed once and for all. Who will win the fight? Loma said he don't want tune-ups according to the reports. He want top guys. He want big fights. Let's see if he's willing to get in there with any of these guys. He did pop back up after his contract expired. Very interesting timing nonetheless. But let's see where he end up and who he end up in the ring with at 38, coming off the surgery and the layoff, you know? Shout out to everybody, man. Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu is on the way as well, man. And we got bad blood, man. We got the amazing Keyshawn versus Nahir Albright too this weekend, man. So we're gonna be calling the fights. Tune in, but till then, we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. to build on this boxing like we always do. So with that, we're gonna get up out and enjoy the rest of this good Wednesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace to the fans.